the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Duck off the crib to spot the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me if my home draining is sad. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. Mi casa es tu casa, so it ain't no holding back. Another shot of vodka, you know what's in my glass. It's my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Cheers. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. It's my house. Open up the champagne, pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go a while. Welcome to my house, play that.
One? No. Two? No. Three? That's what we're talking about.
Pro 4. So we're gonna start off with 1, nope. 2, nope. 3, we'll take 3 today.
Three, two, 1, and we're live.
That's how we start them.
Do the hand clap.
I don't know. We just started doing the hand clap,
Slick
and it
and
just
first.
became natural, right?
Yep.
Welcome back. This is your second to last off-season show of the season, presented by, you know it, your favorite natives, the Impulse Media Boys. And we're back. As always, my co-host sitting to my left. No, it's not herpes, but it's Tito Levine.
Hi guys. I have a,
That is very visible on screen.
is it? I have a zit on my lower lip, and
I told everybody it wasn't herpes.
yeah,
I was looking out for you.
thankfully, and I had a hard time getting rid of it, and I finally got rid of it today.
And you cried. I bet
I did.
Dude, that one's
I
they're the
cried,
worst.
man. I just was like, but it felt really good when. So
Did it get on the mirror?
no, it was just a little guy. Like it was just so annoying, but it was just so visible that I was like, I have to get rid of this.
I gotta get it. Gotta get it
right
gone.
now. Yep.
Sitting across from me, the man, the Jeffrey Dahmer glasses are back. He says they're lucky. We got the computer up on a stand to keep it cool this time.
Yep.
Well, second time. We're going to see. We're testing the facts today. Mr. Jeffrey Keeble.
The lucky glasses are on, and we're ready to not have any problems this show.
No problems.
No, we're gonna
Zero.
be positive about this.
We're going to be positive.
You know.
It's true. All of them bedtime kisses. Already. It's starting already. It's starting already. Sitting diagonally across the table from me, as always, the man on the DJ board, the man that makes us all sound good and look good during race season, Mr. Lyle Keeble.
Yo. I need some bedtime kisses.
Oh my goodness. You don't want this.
Yeah, that's pretty risky. Pretty risky. And sitting to my left and Tito's left, the sportsman champ, the man that got all the recognition from his Facebook post at whatever race it was, Mr. Tyler
This is
Wusterbarth.
way too
Welcome to the
close
show.
to race season, to be honest. It should have been like episode 1 so that we had 11 more episodes to forget about what
What,
I
that
say.
post?
No, I just
Oh.
mean like so it doesn't happen again.
Oh, I mean, we all enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
I should look to see
We
if
all
I
enjoyed it.
screenshotted those.
Oh,
I never even got to see it.
I
Me
probably
neither.
have the screenshot still.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was there a good amount of comments on there?
No, it didn't last long.
You took it down?
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey,
Hey.
We're no 90-minute man, but you know.
Still was good though, right?
Well, now what's the rule now? They implemented a rule
Oh,
just
yeah.
because of you, right?
Yep.
Oh
That's the
yeah,
Tyler rule.
yeah.
Between Tyler and Kurt Greaves. Somebody done hurt somebody's
Good
feelings.
company. That's fine.
And our second guest, the Shark Show. Not related by blood, but my brother-in-law. And by the way he drives, you'd think for surely he's related by blood because he's got little Johnny G in him. Mr. Kyle
Johnny
Sharkey.
G, yeah.
Little Johnny G.
go for
Yeah,
it.
thank you guys. Thanks for the intro. I'd like to say that it'd be awesome to be repping like as well as Johnny G, but
I mean, you got a
Yeah.
little Johnny G.
I don't know. I end up on my lid more than anything else. So
Well, I mean,
I guess the shoe fits a little bit right
the
now.
shoe fits right now a little bit.
That's the way to go about it, man. Sorry.
Jeffrey, pull it up. What's that mean?
Who knows?
What-
Jazz,
what-
Jazz just talking again.
Somebody knows. Somebody
I don't
knows.
know that one.
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I
either.
don't know that one either. Normally we know what Jazz is talking about, but not this time.
Yeah, he's
He's always
man,
in the chat.
must
Yep.
be drunk,
Yeah, probably.
and I'm kind of jealous.
Kind of jealous.
But I can't wait till next week.
Why?
Next week, well, it's our finale, but
It is.
we're gonna go off with a bang. So I'm bringing a 12-pack of Twisties, and then who
Yeah.
knows?
So
Who
you're-
knows what else? Yeah, we're
Are
gonna.
you
Yeah.
drinking before the show, during the show?
So
yes.
we
Oh,
used to we used to get a 12-pack every show,
Yeah,
and it'd be gone by the end of the show. No
Yeah.
matter how many people, whoever. What?
That's why you guys would get in trouble all the time.
Yeah, but it was so entertaining.
yeah. Well, and these shows would go for 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
A little long, huh?
Yeah, and it took like in the beginning, none of us were as quite as fluent, I would say. So then even with the guests, it was like really hard to get anyone talking, and you just kept hammering out some drinks, and by about like an hour and a half in, finally it
Yeah.
started getting good.
Sure.
I sent Kyle a picture of some beat boxes before he introduced those to me this summer.
Oh, you had
Fast
those?
one? Yeah.
You willingly bought those,
Well, technically they're
he
in the
brought
cooler
some.
at ERX, but
and then you bought some.
Oh yeah.
Why?
We bought like 4
Why?
cases for a
Those are-
wedding. I love them.
Those are terrible.
No, they're great.
so they're not terrible on ice, but then after the first one, you get a pretty good buzz, and I don't know too many
I don't
cocktails
know.
I have that in one can get me going a little bit.
I don't know.
what
I
is
was
it?
at a beatbox. I was at EDC and I drank a couple beatboxes and I still was not on the level of 90% of the people there.
Yeah, but you got to think though. At EDC, you're like jumping around, dancing around, and that just like wears off. You can
Burning
drink a
it
lot.
off?
Yeah.
Burning it off.
I mean, I don't even want to know how many of them I had at EDC and didn't really know I had them. But then, at
Didn't know.
ERX,
What do you think you forgot?
either forgot or lost a little bit of time, whatever it might be.
Time travel.
Yeah. But at like ERX, you had one. I had one, and I was like, whoa. And I told Tyler, and he had one, and then he thought I was full of it. And then after that, he's like, yeah, they hit you pretty good.
What are they, 8 or 12?
12%, I think.
Yeah.
12%?
Damn.
And they don't taste terrible.
No, they're like coconut
They
water.
gotta be cold.
But
They
yeah,
gotta
for
be
sure.
cold.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh.
That teaches interest
They're
right
pretty,
there.
All
I mean,
right.
on ice, really cold, pretty all right. Pretty all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what he means. Jasmine's pull up the post that.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, here, let me hear it down to you. No.
I actually don't even know what it said, and
Me neither.
I really want
Let's hear
to know
about it.
now.
All right.
Let's hear about it.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
just
I mean,
start.
you typed
that's how
it.
That's how we started.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go.
I
into
can
it.
probably
Yeah.
recite
Look for
it or find it, one of the two.
Yeah, let's hear it.
That's titty.
Well, let's start off with the story time part of it first. What
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
I don't even think I saw it
Oh, okay.
or was watching it. So something obviously happened that led to this.
Yeah, so there was
It's at Crandon, right?
no, it was at Barker.
It was at Bark River.
Yep.
Oh, same place Kurt Greaves?
It's just Bark River, I think. It was like a comp caution restart, and I didn't even know it at the time, which is why I think I was so mad. But we came in like 4 wide and all collapsed, and I went right over the top of Berger's like front end, and
Oh,
it just
yeah.
caught him right where it flipped him. So we get done, and there was something where I think it was Pete and Marquardt were racing and wadded each other up like on the last corner to podium. So I'm like all excited, right? We're good. I get a text from, I think it was Megan or one of the champ officials, like, come to the champ trailer with your medal. I'm like, fuck.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So, went over there, talked with
Ryan.
yeah, race director stuff. Tried to plead my case. I mean, at that point, they already decided, right?
What happened? What was the result of it?
It was DQ, basically.
They DQ'd you.
They DQ'd you?
So, well, I got to be careful with that. they basically, I took last. So, I mean, they might as well DQ'd me. It was,
Right.
What did you
Same
place
points.
though before that happened? Like, was it 5th or 4th? Third?
yeah.
Was 5th, and then them
They
two
took
took each other
yeah,
out
yep.
right at the end.
Yeah.
And ended up 3rd.
And I've been notoriously shit at Bark River. So, I was just like happy, finally a good finish. Everything was smooth. We took 2nd the day before. So, I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. Went through that. Then,
Don't have it.
after I was pretty settled down for a while. But then everybody I talked to about it, I just got more fired up. It was just one of those things.
That's what the pit's good for.
Yeah, it was one
Everybody in
of
the
those things where
pits.
like, why'd you let that go? I'm like, I don't know. I'm over it. I'm over it. And then we went and did the relay race. A couple of locals kicked our ass in the finals.
Yeah,
and
dude.
I don't know, maybe it was just more mad. So
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe that did
it
it
was-
too. But
Okay, I'm gonna look again.
but I just kind of
What time is it?
I just spouted off about it being bullshit, and I'm not a social media bitcher by any, and I just went stupid. And I always yell at my dad for his Facebook posts, like I tell him they're dumb and all that stuff. And Grace looks at my dad and she's like, "Jerry, tell them this is stupid." He's like, "I can't. I'm sorry." He's like, "I'm terrible at this too." So did it. Lasted about 20 minutes. I'm like, "Yeah, that probably shouldn't be on there." And by then, I don't know. It was pretty high into where enough champ people saw it, racers, whatever. And so I kind of figured it was out there. And then somebody screenshot it and tried to get me kicked out for the rest of the year because of it. Yeah, which is
man.
stupid because they sent it to Champ and their profile picture is in the. So like,
you know who
if you go on your Facebook, yeah, so I know who did it. It's like, I was like,
Unreal.
damn.
Just told on yourself.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good.
What did it say?
We talked it out after. What did it say?
Yeah.
It was something along the lines of like, Champ sucks, the race directors suck, It was a BS call.
Okay.
They don't know anything about off-road racing. I don't know. There was a lot of
Okay, just speaking your
douchey shit.
Nothing was good.
feeling.
Yeah, and the problem with that is I was mad at 2 people, right? I wasn't mad at everybody else in Champ, truthfully. So
Yeah.
I said my apologies to the people that I liked, got along with. So whatever. Cleared the air a little bit
Yeah.
there that, I'm not. I
Yeah.
realize how that comes off.
On the record now, you've cleared that up, and you're
Yeah, we moved forward.
Well, I mean,
Well, that's fair.
we really didn't move forward. They created a rule.
They did.
around
Yeah,
it.
they kept me accountable.
Yeah.
Well,
Thanks
yeah.
a lot.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they kind of created a rule about it, but
Yeah.
in a sense, it's all right.
So in that rule, are media people
Yep.
within that rule?
Yep.
I assume it goes based on your team, right? So, like, if you're affiliated with somebody within the racing community,
It specifically says if your media people,
Yeah.
even if you have nothing to do with it, but your media posts it, your media people post it, and it's about you and it offends somebody, you're fucking.
You want to know the worst part about that rule is when we raced stock cars, I wrote the rule for Norway, the social media policy rule for Norway, and then just shit on it for Champ. like had the the buy rules in there for social media stuff, and then
Does that say anything about a podcast? No, I'm just
no.
kidding.
I mean, it's not during race season, so.
Yeah.
no.
I think a good point of that was last week we asked Dylan Parsons and Matt Gerald what they would like. What's one thing you would want to change about Champ? Like we tried to end it with what's one positive that you felt this year, and what's one thing that you could critique them on that you feel like would be better. And one of the number one things was consistency on calls. They're like you really don't know what is what. Did they dock anybody else like that? All season long, and there was plenty of people that got taken out that'll probably go on there and vouch and be like, dude, I was cleaned out, I was rolled over, shit, fucking some people got their whole wheel broke off, like
Right.
flipping over and then off of a restart and then getting flipped back over and being able to finish is almost a better result than someone T-boning you and breaking your wheel off.
Right. It happened the weekend before in Lena, both days, and I just shut up, all good, moved on, next race. So then for it to come back, it's like
That's
I was
what really-
a little extra pissed. Yeah.
So that's what one of the main things was that people were saying is consistency. Like there almost needs to be. It's hard. Like look at AMA, right? Which AMA is way more established, right? And there's way more clarity maybe in motocross racing. And I'm like, what's dirty and what's not, and they kind of let it sort itself out and whatever. But it's pretty cut and dry on the what's gonna happen. What are you two fucking laughing at?
Did you see him?
Tito Clean.
I see.
Oh,
I see
nice,
some.
and he was
I see. No, did you see it?
I saw. I'm right next to him. I saw it. Stop looking at it.
I didn't even. I think I read the
Staring at it.
comment.
Oh wait.
That's what he's laughing at.
Oh. Oh damn! I thought it was just CJ looking at me.
No.
Oh, are you self-conscious now?
Yes.
it sounds like it.
Feel
Yeah,
bad.
Dude, what do you mean?
jeez. We're talking about you taking people out and you weren't even on the track.
So Lena, I know is pretty tough. You know, when it comes to sportsman side-by-side races, I know it's not the easiest to navigate around. You know, I totally
I may
get
or
it.
may not have some screenshots of the post.
Oh,
JD
Slash
Media.
comments.
JD Media.
Put 'em up.
Jake, you want to get hired this year? Or?
Do you think some of the rule stuff that you're talking about with the consistency has something to do with like some in like Champ's perspective? Like I don't know how much they're reviewing like the cameras after the fact of stuff happening, but
Never.
is it fair to say that they might not have the amount of angles of on track at all times like AMA does? Is there anything that we could say that that's true? Because
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is they've never raced. The guys making the calls have never raced. Did you just see that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think.
dimmed down.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ghost.
Have never raced. So it's really hard for them, in a sense, to probably judge the call, right? If you've never been in the situation
said
and
that
been
too
in
in
a
the
race, it's really hard to judge like how we should go about it. Where you look at Supercross, majority of the people that run Supercross all through and through are ex-pros to some extent. Like you go through the AMA, through almost every team now, they're all ran by an ex-pro. So it's a lot easier to make a decision on based off of like watching it. And I feel like that's like when we ran side-by-side sports, it was really easy for us to make calls based on it. And it was really easy afterwards to have a conversation with them about it because we've all been in the same situation, right? And you know that there's days where it was like, well, you were driving over your head and you made a bonehead move, right? Like we've all been there. And it was a little bit easier for them to be like, yeah. And it'd be like, all right, well, if the role was reversed and that guy fucking came flying in here, had no way to stop, come sliding through the water and clean you out, would you be mad? Yeah, I'd be mad. And it just makes it a little bit easier to see eye to eye.
Sure.
Where if you've never raced and then you make a call, they have no, it's hard for them to back themselves up, right? All they're going to say is, well, we had to make a decision. And obviously we're not out there. We don't know exactly what happened. And if you've never been in that situation, it's a lot harder to make a call that's probably justifiable from seeing it from both sides. That's my outlook on it. I think a lot of people would, I think at one point, I heard a rumor, I don't know if it was true or not, that they were talking about getting Scott Douglas involved kind of in the officiating side to try to help some of that. What are you fucking chuckling at? Who did that? Who made that noise? You?
Yeah, it's awfully bold.
What?
Ask Scott Douglas. Yeah.
Why?
I mean, he's probably doored more people in Pro 4 than
Probably.
anyone ever will.
Right, but he was also one that squealed a lot, like when it happened in reverse.
Which is why I went.
Yeah, but
Well, that's a little ironic.
I mean, it would be somebody in there that could probably see a lot of calls from an outside, like whether he made the decision or not. It would be somebody that they could go to consistently and be like,
Yeah.
What do you think happened here before they make a decision, right? Where that's ultimately probably something they need, somebody along those lines.
And accept different views too, I think, like actual camera views, because like I mean the stream ones are fine sometimes, but there's others where it's like it cuts frame and you miss the 5 seconds before that, where it's like somebody brings good film and they're like, we can't use that.
Yeah, I don't know
Like, why
where
not?
I don't know where that rule came about.
Yeah.
Why don't you allow all footage?
Yeah.
As long as it's in its like natural state, I can imagine. I don't see why there'd be a problem with it.
Right. Which they don't. They only allow their footage. So even if you had camera people going, they will not look at your footage to justify a call.
So
Maybe it's to make the call right away. Have they made calls right on the spot?
Mine was 6 hours later.
Oh,
No, I think probably because they're going to say, which I mean, it ain't really anybody's fault, but if, say, one team has a media crew, right, and the other team can't afford it, they may be able to make decisions based off of media we provided, but yet this guy doesn't pay for media, so he didn't have a second shot. So then it's like luck of the draw, right? It's luck of the live stream that changes it. I don't know. That would be my only way to justify not accepting outside. I mean, to me, if there's no cut in it, right, you can clearly see it's one steady film. Why not look at as many views as you can before you make a decision?
yeah. Didn't they at one point say that no outside media during one of the calls? Because I think
All of them.
I think we had some media stuff.
It was all of them.
That's what we're
Because
talking about.
that
They
dirt
don't-
city between Jimmy and your dad, I had that shot. And
Oh,
I,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
told,
yeah.
I think Ryan was next to me. I told him I had it, and he just like, we can't
You can't
go off that
right.
call.
They can't
It's like
judge.
even though he was standing next to me, he saw like what I was doing. He's like, we can't use your footage to make this call.
Right. They can't use anybody's footage, which to me is kind of weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if I really. What?
No,
Why
I
aren't you
know.
saying anything?
No, because because I am
you
trying
thinking?
I'm trying to think of something to say, but you do have all really good points as far as it goes. Because I'm trying to put myself in that scenario, right? Like you said, is something happens to you, and you're like, well, shit, man. Like I want you guys to review this and make sure like it's called the right way, but. In the reverse instance, let's say I did it to somebody, I'm like, oh shit, or you try to defend yourself, or like, hey, it didn't look that way, but I can't afford a camera guy. Then it's like, man, I feel like I'm being punished just because I can't afford a camera guy.
Right.
So like, I'm trying to come up with like different ways to be for it in a specific way, but I honestly understand why they go that route as far as just saying like, hey, like, It's
luck of the draw.
It's a luck of the draw. It's our live stream. This is what we see. This is what we were able to capture. And
it's
there's
flow,
no
so
other
it's
outside
shit.
influence. Yeah. So it's just
It's flawed because they're looking at tape. They're not making a decision right away.
480p, and it's just like
Right.
Probably glitching. Do you think that there should be a time limit on how long decisions?
Yeah, before the end of the race.
before the end of the
like,
race.
That doesn't make sense.
Whoa, that's
Whoa,
damn.
Like, okay,
End of the
sorry.
day.
Whoa.
No, by the end of the race, there shouldn't be any more calls. The race is done. If you didn't
Well,
catch
how
it,
do you
then
get
you
to
didn't
go?
catch it.
How do you
Or
get to go
red
rebuttal
footage. Oh.
it at all on your side, or talk to them even to have a
I don't
case?
think there should be one. Put a corner worker in.
Damn.
Put a
I
corner
mean, I
worker.
would have thought that's why they
Every
don't.
other racing does it at the time.
You're right. You're right.
That is true.
And I think maybe not. It's really hard because sometimes
Well, would it
they give out black flags,
would
right?
it depend on the severity of the call?
Yes, but it also goes back to consistency, right? Somebody that may hit somebody in the wheel and break their wheel off or give them a flat tire gets black flagged, right? Well, he's just got to do a stop and go. If it goes yellow, he gets started tail of the field. He can still get top 5.
Right.
All things go well, right? Something happens like where in his scenario, if he would have got black flagged on the spot, been like, boom, that's a black flag. He could have went and served his black flag and then raced on the end of the race, and wherever you finish, you finish. He didn't get that opportunity, where that's where some people get so upset is, what's a black flag and what's this? Like, there's just not a lot of consistency, and they don't think it makes a difference, but it does. There was multiple scenarios this year that they made a decision after the race. And they said, I think in one of the drivers' meetings or something, they were talking about making decisions after the race.
Yeah.
And to us, that's not fair, because if you do it right there and you say that deserves a black flag, okay, I'm gonna go serve my black flag, and I have the opportunity to race through. I served what I had coming, and that's that. And now if the race goes yellow, if anything happens, you still get to race. Right. Where if they make it at the end and they decide, well, we decided we're going to black flag you at the end, and they say whatever it may be, you get last on the lead lap, or you get this, or you get that, because if you would have had to do a stop and go, this many people would have passed you, so you would have been last on the lead lap. Well, that black flag, and all they're saying is, we're going to black flag you. Well, that black flag isn't served the same. You don't have the same opportunity in it. So I think that's just where a lot of the confusion in inconsistency people say.
And I agree. I think, because initially I'm thinking, like, when there's a decision to be made, like, all right, like let's try to get some facts, let's try to review it. But no, I agree. In the moment when there's an opportunity for you to give a black flag, it's like, then you have to give it, right? Like, again, I don't want to say what you said, but there's an opportunity for you to serve your black flag, get back out there, and try to work your way back up. But if it's after the race, then you're like, well, then what's the point? What's the point of calling that so late?
And mine happened right in front of the spotters tower.
And the only thing talking point I want to bring up then is, let's say it happens on the last lap. Is that when it becomes an after race discussion as far as what to go do? Because again, like, obviously a lot of people make moves and passes or try to do it on the last lap because it's like, hey, you're running out of time. Let's say you take somebody out, spit them out, or whatever it may be. Then that becomes a discussion for after the race. And is there a time frame, a time limit on when that decision needs to be made? Is it right then and there? Is it before the next race starts? Or is it like circumstantial where, let's say you're going for a points championship? Hey, we want to make sure that this is right. We want to make sure that this decision or penalty or whatever it is done the right way. So, I mean, there's a lot of questions, a lot of circumstances as far as that goes.
But do you think that should really change it? I don't think that.
Nope. I don't know.
I think it should be the same across the board. Whether it was someone getting spun out or someone getting taken out, it should be the same. One shouldn't get reviewed 5 times and one only get looked at once and being like, this is the call. If you're going to review them all 5 times, then every call needs to be reviewed 5 times and looked at 5 different ways, or however they want to go about it. And that's where you'd get the consistency. JD said, how do you basically tell the severity of it? Which that is a good one. Like, it would be really nice if they made a chart, right? not even a chart, but just a thing that said, 1 if we think you're in the 1, it's a black flag, stop and go.
Like
if we think it's a 2, like there's only a 1, 2, and a 3, right? If we think it's a 2, this is going to be the penalty. If we think it's bad enough that you get a 3, this is the penalty. They don't have to tell you how you fit in each one.
Yeah.
But then you would at least know like what the penalties are.
Yeah.
So like in the NBA, like a flagrant 1 and a flagrant 2.
I was just going to say the same
It can
thing.
be,
Like every other sport has that,
yeah.
right? You got
We do now, don't we?
And maybe I sound a little
I don't know.
ignorant here, but I guess the reason why I was saying the difference is again, no offense, but like, you know, a sportsman side-by-side race, you're like, okay, deciding that points championship compared to a Pro 2 or a Pro 4 championship, that kind of
Why
deserves
they win more money.
a little bit.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
I didn't get much less than he did.
I was waiting
Honestly,
for
too,
that.
as I was saying it, it crossed my mind. I'm like, maybe we'll get past that.
Yeah.
But like you know, in a situation like that, you know, where you know maybe the upper levels of the racing maybe deserve a little bit more care and review to it, you know, compared to like.
Should they though? I mean, that's what a lot of the sportsman guys are complaining about, is that they feel like that the officials don't watch anything, right? They watch the first 3 guys, and the back half of the field's just a free-for-all. That's what a lot of people are complaining, not necessarily complaining about, but that's what you hear a lot of.
Yeah.
Is from 5th on back and sportsman and pro-am and light buggy and these ones that have big fields, you can basically do whatever you want. And if you get the short end of the stick, you're going to get the short end of the stick. And ultimately, their rebuttal to that is, we don't have enough staff to watch that deep in the field.
I was just going to say that. I don't see how you can have too many eyes, you know, in every place. It's just not possible.
Well, really, I guess the only way to do it would be have one guy that's job is to watch top 5, and the other guy is just to scan the field the whole time.
Like find like packs of people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
watch
Just kinda like-
battles.
Yeah,
watch
when he sees battles, he'll pay attention
battles
to that.
going on, and I think just making some calls more deeper in the field will like open people's eyes. Like, okay, they do watch. I think everyone has the impression right now that if you're towards the end, you're probably not going to get called for it, so you might as well go for it.
For some reason, though, they do a good job at keeping their eye on the old split lane at ERX. Doesn't matter where you're at on that
Every
sucker.
year.
Every year being dead last, they still get you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that one's easy, right?
Yeah.
You just watch one lane. And if anyone goes through it, he's docked, he's docked, he's docked, he's docked. But what did you guys hear if they came up on a final for 25? Is there qualifying? Is there not? Is it practice time? I originally saw the rule and heard it. I heard that there wasn't. Was there not clarity on if it's an automatic 10? Yet?
I thought it was. I guess I just assumed though. I didn't think about that.
Because
Automatic 10.
the rule
You're saying the
reads,
inversion?
yeah, the rule reads kind of like maybe it's not
Good
an
point. I don't know
automatic
if
10.
I read that part.
And then I guess I wasn't there, but supposedly someone said they had a meeting about the rule and reviewed it at the Moore banquet, and they were talking about changing it.
So to what, a pill draw?
Well, doing the first day off of like points or something, and the second day off of qualifying time.
So actually, when we
That's what it is.
last year,
I thought
I
it
had
was
brought it up.
originally your practice time in practice is day 1.
That might have been originally. Then they changed it to your race time on Saturday as your qualifying time for Sunday.
But how do you line up for Saturday?
No,
See?
it
See?
wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't that way.
No,
it
it is
wasn't.
now.
It is now.
They changed.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I don't know that it's in the rule book, but I know someone told me at the banquet they talked about changing Saturday's lineup.
That's funny because I actually was talking to them last year at the end of the season about, you know, changing the rule to where the first day of racing for sportsmen would be based off points. That way it kind of keeps everyone racing and it keeps everyone there and on. And then the second day would be based off of the speed or lap times of the first day, right?
Right.
And the reason I actually brought that up was not so much because of trying to keep everyone there at the races, but it was also because I was kind of nervous to see how it will shake out this year with letting, you know, not so much myself, maybe myself, who knows, to go up there a little gun-ho on the first lap and throw her away. And next thing you know, the whole field's pissed at me because I screwed up their qualifying, right?
Right.
That can happen. So, and I'm sure it will. But if that's the case, they switched it now to it's going to be completely off of points now?
I never
versus
saw the.
practice?
I heard it that when it started, it was qualifying or practice time was qualifying for Saturday, and then Saturday's race was Sunday. But in the I'm almost positive. In the rule book, it says, or more, whoever posted the official was points Saturday, race time Saturday, qualifies.
Which to me, I think is
I like that.
ultimately the fair way to do it.
You still got to reward guys that show up every weekend.
Yeah.
Right?
Let those guys, the guys that show up every weekend, start where they are in points. Give them the benefit of the doubt. They've been there supporting it. And then your weekend warriors that show up for every few, they got to deal with the shit the first day. But if they put the lap time up the second day, they could start up front. To me, that's a good, fair way to do it. The only thing that I see is going to be a problem is if it's an automatic 10.
I'm not turning burners.
Well, yeah, I mean, people are going to try to play the game, right? They're going to try to play the game of, can I win without running the fastest lap? Like, if I get up front, I'm just going to manage. Is there people in those classes that are thinking that process the whole time? Maybe not. Maybe.
That's a hard gamble, though, because, I mean, if I'm out there doing practice, unless somebody's in my ear telling me, hey, you're running this lap time, you're making decisions quickly to hopefully stay within the lines of not being out of the inversion, too. So it's a tough one.
What about the start of the season? How do they plan on doing that? Is that just a random?
I think it's still random, like it was last year.
I think it's random and then flipped.
Yeah. Yep. I liked that. That was awesome.
Yeah, Tito.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Tito.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Tito.
I still took second.
Tito.
That's fine.
You know, it's
Because
not,
I still took second.
it's not the only thing that flipped.
Tito.
Yeah.
Tito.
Yes.
Yeah. The same thing. That random.
Yeah.
You got to go. When the green flag.
How was it in there? You know.
I think that's a good way to do it too. A lot of people were like, "This is bullshit." They invert the whole field. To me, that's the best way to do
Yeah,
it.
it's
That's
the
the
most
even
fair.
way to do it across the board.
Hey, JQ,
We don't wanna hear that out of you.
We're gonna register late again. JQ, if you're listening, don't register yet. We're gonna do that late registration fee is gonna be worth pole position on Sunday.
I actually wish they did that the whole year.
No.
Yeah.
He goes,
cool.
no.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
I kind of enjoyed it. I would argue it's harder to start 10th all year than it is 20th with who knows who in the front.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably
Yeah,
Pretty
I can't believe you came ahead on that. Where'd you
I had
start
no
on
power
that?
steering the whole race, but
Yeah. Where'd you start in all of that anyway?
Thank you. I was like 15th or 16th.
Oh, holy shit.
So you stayed right in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it actually bumped me up a couple spots.
At least one.
4 or 5 guys out. By that point,
Yeah, at least one.
Yeah.
But day to day, you about stayed in the middle.
Yeah, it was like somewhere in there.
Got it. So going to Wheatland. You guys going to Wheatland? Going to Wheatland?
Just talking about that.
we talked about it. I kind of said I was going. Wife said I can go. I don't know. I'm up in the
You
air
going?
still. I want to go. I've been there before. The track's fun. But, I mean, like, 10.5 hours. I mean, shit.
Damn,
I
who's
don't-
driving?
Huh?
Who's driving? Damn.
What do you mean, damn? It's 10.5 hours.
10.5 hours?
Yeah.
It's like 11.
All right.
Big Jared can drive.
Well, it's not so much that. It's just, you know, how I got other priorities, not just racing. No offense, but and sometimes that weighs into my thoughts. Sometimes,
The
but I
decisions.
really want to go because I do like the place, and I think I want to see how it is different from. And I don't even know if it will be different. But when we went, it was with MAO running the show, and now going with Champ running the show.
I think it's going to end up the same way.
You think so? I don't know. I want to say it'd be cool to see if they put some influence on like track prep a little bit, like because when we were there, it was
Nothing.
9 times out of 10 it was complete just burnt off. Basically.
Yeah.
This is my outlook on it is not to anybody's fault other than our own. Is there's so many classes. We just added another one, and we didn't get rid of any. There's not physically going to be enough time to prep the track the way it needs to get prepped. That's a track that seals right off after about 2 classes run on it. It's sealed off. There's no way. And then once it's sealed, there ain't no way to water it. You saw it. Well, and then you go to water it, and the only way to truly get it back is to till it, like physically till it. And I don't know. I know we know for facts. We can say facts today.
Oh boy.
Facts. That Glen Helen, they only rented the track. They're doing their own track prep. They're doing their own so on and so forth. They did not say Wheatland. Whether Wheatland is doing track prep or not. Mike Ruschi sent us a text giving us a whole bunch of information after our last podcast, which thank you for that. And they talked about.
Well, I would assume that Wheatland would be doing their own prep.
Is there a track that doesn't?
Glen Helen.
Glen Helen.
Okay, so it's just going to be Glen Helen. That
Glen
was going to be
Helen
different.
was
Okay.
purely just a track. They just did the track, or rented the track. So it's up to them to bring in equipment, bring in everything to
That would
take
have
care
been
of
a
it.
shit show. Yeah.
What do you mean would have been? It's still gonna be.
But okay, so Glen Helen still isn't doing the track prep? I thought you just said that they just rented the track, but Glen Helen's doing the track.
No,
No,
nothing.
no.
Champ's doing it all.
Champ's doing everything.
And I don't know if Wheatland, if they bought in as in like the same way everyone else does and pay the sanctioning fee, and then they do the track prep, they take care of their own track, they promote their own thing, or if Champ ended up working something out more like they did with Glen Helen and renting the track from them, and then they take care of the rest of it.
I'm assuming that they did the sanctioning fee.
Assuming, right?
Yeah, assuming.
Put your hands up.
You know what?
Yeah.
Assuming.
Just for the fact that they're promoting it, and maybe because they're bigger
I
established.
haven't seen them. I seen them promote their UTV series.
I saw that today.
I just saw something on YouTube. Like I was just like scrolling through YouTube and it popped up. They had like a whole promo, like
For the UTVs or Champ?
everything. Champ.
Their race
you guys
schedule.
in it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Which I know there is somebody that watches this that has a part in Lucas Oil Speedway. He's messaged me a handful of times giving us information about it and so on and so forth. So all cap lock, huh? Go to one of those guys.
So
Go to
right now,
Lucas
though, you're
Oil.
saying you don't know if at
Who's taking care of the track?
gotcha. I mean, I can't imagine even if they let's say Champ was taking on the responsibility. I mean, I assume they have ties with some sponsorship with Cat that they can hopefully get some equipment out there fairly reasonable and the right crew to run it.
It's funny. They're almost like, again, assuming, right? That they're like looking for a sponsorship. Like, hey, we're coming out there, but hey, we need some help. You know what I mean? Because then they're responsible for it. So it's almost like they're in the same boat as far as like looking for, like track workers or track
Right
equipment
there.
as far as it goes. So
May 2nd.
I mean,
Sure.
Oh, I think that's the video I did. Hold up.
Really?
Is it?
Hold up.
Hold up.
Will you be able to play it?
That's Jeffrey's video. Maybe. Anyway, so you're going to Wheatland. What are you racing?
Yep.
Mr. Wusterbarth.
Wusterbarth.
Oh, yeah, that's the video I did.
Granted, this thing rides out of the shop on its under its own power, or we'll have a Pro-Am turbo car. So,
And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Not running
Nope.
not going back.
Nope.
Yeah, he's going with the boost.
Pro-Am Turbo, huh?
Pro-Am turbo.
Pro-Am turbo.
I think it's going to be me and
with the
Ben Heiting
Sethosaurus.
with the Sethosaurus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's had.
Lockstein.
You and Benji?
The Lockstein's on here. He asked what it
Good.
costs to put a Lockstein fab sticker on the table. I said, you got to ask Jeffrey.
Yeah.
What? Sorry.
$3,800.
I missed that. I missed that whole conversation.
Sethosaurus Lockstein asked what it cost to put a Lockstein fab sticker on the table.
We got a car to finish first.
$7,500.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's so specific.
That
Hey, there we go.
is
Hey, whatever.
Wusterbarth and
whatever you-
Seth are teamed up building their own YXE long travel turbo car.
Oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
So Seth had the chassis for, it's got to be year 4 now. I think he traded Kyle for some work, or KGB. for the chassis. It's been sitting there. He told me when I first started racing, he's like, this is going to be my turbo car. And I laughed at him. I'm like, okay.
Been saying that for quite some time.
Yeah, I'm like, it's been some years, right? So, and understandably so, because now that we're getting into it, I get it.
Take some fun coupons.
It
to get
takes
that
a
thing
lot
going.
of fun coupons, and it's a lot more work, right? But,
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I don't really know what I'm going to do. What if we just, how it goes with sponsorship. You take a year off. It's hard to ask that question the next year. So I'm like, well, with baby coming, I can probably run most of the races, but I can't commit to a full season to do anything. So I'm like, if you want to run together, you can take all my sponsorship money. We'll dump it in the car. That'll pay for our season. And then whatever you want to race, you tell me. And he said, Bark River. I'm like, perfect.
I Ideal. Ideal.
So yeah. So no, it should be fun. I'm gonna make him race Lena whether or not he wants to. We'll flip flop a day or something. We can run.
Nice.
I just talked to Troy Shaden today about that sportsman race they're doing.
Oh, yeah.
If they're gonna have us, so I got to figure out who the hell is racing Pro-Am Turbo this year, other than Ben.
Yeah, does anybody
which
actually know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Eli Kramer maybe.
No,
I thought
he's
you
going
told
pro.
me. I thought you told me that he was going in the pro class.
He is.
Kramer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't
decision.
told me nothing.
I talked to him
him
at
right now.
PRI and he said pro.
It's a terrible
Well,
decision.
we can message him. We can ask him.
I think he should
He's
come
gonna
race
ask
with
him.
us.
yeah,
on
just
it.
stay
I'm on
away
it.
from
Well,
pro
he's
stock.
been practicing and testing, so
Yeah.
maybe he's gonna go with Benny. I don't know. And I heard through the grapevine that Benny's on the fence because Benny also just acquired
A pro,
a
pro
pro
light.
light.
You know he's listening.
Oh,
I know Benny's on here.
Again.
Naven,
Please.
Naven is running Sportsman Turbo.
Oh, his brother was supposed to buy my car.
But so I heard Benny potentially is going to park the turbo and run Pro Light and Pro Am instead, like Tyler Rimmery did.
Did
for a
he
year.
buy the same truck back that they sold to Remery in the first place?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
When he told me that, I'm like, you got to be shitting me, dude.
No. He got a truck from. So somebody bought. Obviously, Shimmick had Ryan Beats' truck.
Breaking news.
What?
I don't know.
All I was gonna do is tell you the history of the truck. That was it.
Yeah, but Benny Hanna.
Oh, we running it all, boy.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just gonna say I talked to
Well,
Brian
guess what?
the other day.
Yeah.
He's doing all of them.
Yeah, that won't last long. he obviously hasn't raced a turbo
Nice.
Polaris a handful of weekends in a row because
Oh, he's not doing a pro R in that class, or can you not do one in?
I don't know.
You can?
You can do a pro R.
So why did he go?
2450.
Is the weight 2450? Holy shit!
Why did he go the route of?
Well, he already had my turbo car. He's had my
Oh.
turbo car for over a year and never ran it.
Gotcha.
So he said, unless I start to suck in Pro Am, because that's my main class. Okay, so if you start to suck in Pro Am, then you're dropping other classes and just focusing on Pro Am. I think that's what that means.
Yep.
So you're only,
would guess.
you said part of the year, though?
My wife's probably watching.
Yeah. But there are two of you, right?
Did you get her any sour cream and pizza rolls before you came here? That would have settled her right over.
It would have, yeah.
But there's two of you, though, right?
Yeah, there's two of us.
Okay.
Yeah, we're running a full season.
Okay.
We're running for
car-
championship.
No,
The car will be-
He's talking about there's two parents.
Yeah, there's two parents. So, like, while you're
Oh,
racing,
yeah.
you can just...
Yeah, the best part is like ERX, she's from that side of Wisconsin. So ERX is like, well, Spring Crandon's going to be like due date, it's looking like.
Yeah.
Which is fine because it's Spring Crandon. But the next one's ERX and her family's all out there and they come out to the race every year. So
Yeah.
she's like, we're not going to that one. And they're like, you better be at that one. You know, the one time we get to see you guys.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So I was like, thank you, family. That
Yeah,
worked
how
out
she-
pretty good.
Yep.
How would she not go and see little
Exactly.
Triggy?
Yeah, she can stay with fam, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JD said, how does one run Pro and Sportsman? They let you move up as long as you don't move out.
I was just gonna
They did the same
ask
thing.
that same question.
What? What I just answered?
Yeah, about Kyle.
Sharkey.
What's
What?
that?
He ran 2 Sportsman classes.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what.
Wow.
Well, he got to do sportsman
Well,
side
that-
by side and pro am side by side. So how can
But they're
I?
both more classes.
Yeah, and the reason that because the rule states you have to
Cheater.
run.
People were mad at you for doing that?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
people were so
I
upset.
do remember that.
Yeah, people were super upset. I'm like, my boy
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah,
Well,
there
you
was
can't be
a
mad at him.
there was a couple. We were talking about that the other night at the G Spot, and I'm like, there was some people that were not happy about it, but you know, I'm like, I don't know why they're upset about it because you know I was doing well, but there was a couple times that like I didn't even actually race. The one time I was at, for example, at Lena, I crashed out on the first day of my class, right? And I was running the same car but changing parts out, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm not doing that. You know, we're just done. And then so I DNF'd one of the times. It's like, well, okay, sure. I don't know how many. I think I won 3 of them. But I'm like, well, I don't see what the big deal is. It's not like I'm winning the points for him.
Right.
And you know, Joel came back and ran the rest of the rounds as he was supposed to. So I'm like, sick. You know, that was the greatest thing. I wish I could do that every time. You know, as far as I mean, not the winning part, but I mean like the 2 cars at the same time. That was
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, now I can.
Running 1 car in 2 classes.
Well, yeah,
Is
that'd be
what you're saying?
nice.
Or just racing twice in general.
Before the turbo class was introduced, though, you didn't really have that option.
Right. You could only run one class.
Right. Yeah. Now I'm just a cheap ass and don't want to. class. So.
I don't know. You
Damn.
got. Well, I'm sure
Self-awareness.
Joel cut you a sweet deal on one of his cars that you could convert to a turbo.
Did you see it right now? I think it's every day it sits on Marketplace. He drops it like $1,000.
Maybe.
Kidding. I
It's
think
gonna be cheaper than mine.
no kidding. I think it's right now $8,000 or something. He told me today. I'm like, dude,
$8,000.
fuck. And that thing's
Ready to
actually
rip.
nice.
Don't look at me.
I think
What if?
I'm building an app.
no, his first one, which has good aluminum work done on it, and I'm like, the aluminum work alone is almost the $8,000.
Yeah.
All chrome.
Yeah.
Because that's the rear clipped car, right? Yeah. It's a sweet car.
Yeah, I don't know why he's. I mean, I get why he's trying to get out, and right now he's not. So he's not racing next year. Or this year.
news.
Yeah, breaking news. if you guys didn't know, Jeffrey
Yeah, breaking
likes
news.
to
You got to come up with a graphic now.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, breaking news
do
cam.
that.
Yeah, so he said that this year he just wants to, he's got he's got a second kid and just life, business and second kid. He
So
feels
he's
like it's
also
taken.
Kyle's business partner.
Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. He's my
Now
business
you know.
partner. But yeah, there's a lot going on between business and the two kids. I mean, I know that life now too with my second kid, and it's a lot. I think
Jeffrey, put your hand down.
I washed my car at the end of the year, but I hadn't really touched it since. I think I took the suspension off this week, so I'm like running a little late here, but
Better late than never. I haven't even brought mine out of the shop yet.
yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay, go.
So you guys are saying don't have kids because they ruin your fun, right?
You
guys,
have
I'm
a
still
kid.
having fun yet.
why
you have a
are
kid
you
and you're
listening to
zero
this?
fun.
Yeah, I'm just gonna sit over here and shut my mouth.
No, that's
Yeah, the one car for 2 races was really cool, except Anago and ERX. When you couldn't even see the car; it was so muddy, and then you got to turn it around 3-4 hours later.
Yeah.
oh shit.
F that.
Anago is the worst.
I forgot
because,
about that.
Yeah,
I
those
think-
were horrid days.
I think the car had like 4 inches of ride height when I got back. Like, oh shit! Yeah.
The shocks probably need to be rebuilt before
No
that
kidding.
race.
Yeah, that's wild. Should we? Do we want to go into any of our other questions before we hit our fucking lunch break here, or do we want to come back swinging afterwards?
We could always start it off hot.
Yeah.
Start it off hot
Well, I mean,
afterwards.
let's finish with like your guys' race season.
Yeah.
How was it?
Actually, that's what I was going to ask Tyler was after you got done, crashing everyone else out in Sportsman, what's your, how many over-under for Pro-Am?
Over under what?
How many people he's going to pop, pop, pop?
How many people he's gonna take out? That's
I
what
like
you're
Ben
asking.
and Brian, so if it's just us two, none.
We already know it's more than that.
Yeah.
Hey,
right.
did you ask Kramer? Did you text Kramer?
Oh yeah, I did.
He
Oh
did?
yeah. Here we go.
He's usually pretty hot to
That's
trot.
the guy that
Just,
did the
just pro.
Yeah. I did
Just
the-
pro turbo.
Just pro.
See?
because he did the backwards front flip. That's right.
Well,
Yeah,
no, he
yeah.
did.
Yeah.
He
You
did the 10
should
flips.
see the video. Like the way he flipped, I like snuck under it like Fast and the Furious shit. It was awesome.
Yeah.
You matrix that shit.
You see him go around, all of a sudden you just see.
Yeah.
That's pretty wild.
It's from
Yeah.
a movie.
I've never seen anybody rolling backwards and do a front flip.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because that was
It's like
Matty,
some
right?
gainer stuff.
Borschinger is who did the front flip. Eli's the one that went for the tumble, but he landed on Matt's car.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
All I know, Eli
think you're
went
right.
flipping.
Yeah, he's
Wait for you to see it.
Yeah.
But
No, let's see. The only other interaction I have with Sharkey is at Bark River, and that was the one that I threw of you and I think Liebergen up. So just before the finish line, where you guys both rolled it, and
Oh,
I think Benny cleared it, or maybe it was Jesse Greaves that snuck in between both you guys, like rolling up, corkscrewing in the air, and I just remember watching like, this is so awesome.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was. I think it
was a good one.
Either you or Jeffrey came over by me by the fence and was like, check this out, and showed me. I'm like
Oh, it was me. I was like, hey, man. I was like, that's pretty cool. Check this out.
You know,
And he's like, I remember you're like, oh, cool. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, man, I probably shouldn't have showed him.
Yeah. As he's sitting up by the fence watching the race.
Yeah, him and Derek just sitting against the
That was
fence.
the second picture, just bummed out. Like,
Yeah. I was like, oh, damn. I read that one wrong.
oh man, I'm not usually too wound up about stuff like that when when it happens. You know, they're my fault when they happens. You typically, so it it is what it is. You just kind of try to shake it off. But I mean, countless times this year, how for lack of a better way of saying it, stepped on my own dick multiple times. I'm like, come on, like, how do you come from almost 20th to the top 5 and then get there, and now all you got to do is be smart and make some moves, and then just go throw it away in the last lap. I remember, actually, this is a good one. I remember specifically,
it was like every race too.
It was.
Fucking Kyle's rolling up there, and then he was
and it was
rolling.
always on the last lap.
Every time.
2 to go.
Yep.
yeah. So a
Every
funny one was at ERX. I remember climbing my way through, and I get to like it was either the 5th or 4th, and I remember Bill Berger being in front of me. And there was Ziegler Cat, and I planned it the lap before. I'm like, all right, I know he's pushing a little wide there, and if I can get to the corner before him and just sit there, I'll be able to race down Ziegler Cat and take it away and hopefully get third. Well, unbeknownst to me, it's the last lap because we kind of jumped the finish together, so I didn't even know. And John's in my ear, but he didn't tell me it was last lap either. So we go zipping up to Ziegler Cat, and I like go up there to park it, and she just grips. And then I try to turn out of it, and then I basically like monster truck into his car, but it was unintentional. Trust me, I wasn't trying to hit Bill. And then end up flipping over, and the first thing I remember Johnny G saying to me is, yeah, you're going to get good at starting from the back this year, aren't you? I had never been pissed at John, but I was like, in that moment, before I said anything stupid, I just turned the radio off.
Yeah.
And then I think it was either that weekend or the next time it ended up happening. God knows when. But he was saying something to like Jess and Kathy about how like I keep doing that, and like he gets right up there and then just throws it away, and then like they go, "Well, isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?"
I said the same thing. I was talking to him. He was obviously Supercross this year has been like so all over the board, right?
Yeah.
And he was talking about Sexton and like always going for it and falling down and making mistakes and how he just needs to like chill out and he's fast and whatever. And I'm like, do you realize everything you're saying? Do you realize this is all the things we've said to you for the last 5 years, 10 years is like, just chill out. Like you got it. Just chill out. You're fast enough. Let it come to you, whatever. But no, you got to go for it and crash. Well, now you're looking at Sexton watching it firsthand from the other side, and you're going, if this guy would just chill out and quit making mistakes, he'd be like the champ and whatever. And anyway, so I was laughing. I was ripping on him the day he was talking about that.
Hey, sometimes when that helmet comes on, you just something comes over you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the perfect example is, not to throw him under the bus, but at Hammers this year in qualifying, I was like, just finish. Just finish the thing. Just finish the course, and you'll be in it. You'll be in the top 15. Like, you're good enough to take 10% off the top and still be in the top 15.
100%.
And that's where you got to be to race up in the front is like top 15, top 20. You'll be sitting in a good spot, right? And he's like, I can't do that. I just can't take that 10% off. And I'm like, well, here we are. Like, but it's just funny to go. It's the same things, right? It's always the same shit.
Sometimes
that's
I wonder.
why they say do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
He likes saying that.
Sometimes I wonder though if it's the style of your driving that that's what makes him Johnny G, right? And if he does dial it back that 10%. Well, it might not actually be that he's staying that fast. He might be making stupid mistakes still on dumb stuff. I'm just talking out loud here. I know if I tried to dial it back a little bit, maybe I'm still making stupid mistakes, but now I'm just slower.
Yeah, yeah, different ones.
Yeah,
in a different sense. All right, well, we're coming up on our commercial break, so we're gonna go. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're gonna go to our break, and then we'll be back in 10.
week early, like before race week.
Kind of go into it realizing that we're going to be busy the whole entire time.
Get up about 7 every day, go to bed about 2:30 every day in the morning, give or take, so some long hours.
We never have everything completely finished before we get out there. I mean, we could start 10 years ago and we still wouldn't have everything finished by the time we got there.
I actually enjoy it quite a bit because you're out there, there's not really anything else to do besides eat and work, so you might as well stay busy working, and Kyle does a pretty good job about keeping us busy.
Once we get something done and I want to go test it, I'll go test it.
I'm already feeling a little better.
Yeah, I ain't breaking my neck. It's way better.
Way better. I feel like that's even better.
I think so.
Well, that's better. We can at least do something with that.
Yeah.
When stuff isn't working right, like my stress levels are through the roof. Taking shocks off or working on something and something I went out and pre-ran and it was good, and then a couple days later I'd drive it again and it's bad, and it's like, I don't know if it's just mind games or what.
It's fucking horrible.
Really?
Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking maybe take the shocks exactly how they back from how they were. I can't race like that.
Well, King of the Hammers is always a lot of fun, and it's always kind of hectic. And I get questioned all the time, like, why aren't you out there? Like, oh, I work on my vehicle at the shop, so I don't have to work on it here. I don't push the limits crazy hard because I don't want to tear it up and I don't want to break it. So then I don't have to fix it. But I'm glad to help Kyle and these guys. I've provided some parts they didn't have, which kind of surprises me that I actually have. I actually get a lot of enjoyment out of helping people, kind of snaking in them extra parts or tools that they might think are pretty cool. I think that's a cool factor. I'm loving the new car, but seeing there's a lot of a learning curve to it to get it to do what they want it to. So I'll let them run it this year. I'll take notes, and then next year I can, same thing, roll it out of the trailer and it's ready to rip. I learned from y'all. Thank you very much.
You know, you try to set your car up and everything for what you think the track's going to be, and then it changes, and you know, your suspension changes, tire pressures change, I mean, ride heights change, I mean, just, and then trying to find enough time in the day to go out and pre-run and, you know, make sure you know the track and make sure your co-pilot knows the GPS and knows the track. And pre-running isn't just looking at the track, it's also testing your car and equipment. So we try to make the pre-runners as close as we can to the race cars.
Yeah, so we found out, you know, running 35s, a lot of people haven't had any issues, but when you're running, you know, 80 plus miles an hour through the desert, come to find out that a soft rock tire starts to stretch out a little bit and was creating some issues rubbing against where the ball joints are at and the knuckle and really dragging the car down. So, you know, there's a noticeable difference not being able to get the car up to its full potential in the desert.
We had to deal with that issue and figure out what we could do to eliminate that from happening during the race, and we did end up figuring that out, so it worked out good.
Doesn't matter how much prep you get beforehand, once you get there, there's always something to do, from suspension testing or just, you know, downright repairs on the cars. We're busy the whole time we're out there.
Just making sure everything gets done the right way and on time to where the car can be tested and come back and get looked over again and get ready to go to the start line in the morning.
When it's time to get the job done, it's more than just equipment. It's the team that stands behind you. NNS Tractor is your full-line Case IH dealer with 13 locations across California and Oregon. Since 1954, our family has been providing premier Case IH equipment and top-quality service. My grandfather, Ray, started this business. My father, Art, and Uncle Steve and Howard grew it into a trusted name. Now, I'm proud to carry on that legacy and continue offering the personal service that only a family business can provide. Visit us today and let the NNS team empower you to build your own legacy, season by season.
Parenting is hard. Let Navage make clearing stuffy noses the easiest part of your day. The Navage Baby Aspirator is simple to use and built.
The prologue this year of the desert race is like a 35-mile qualifier. That 35 miles is also added to your next day's time. It's pretty much just an early qualifier with the ability to have some adjusted time on your side. So it's very important, and you definitely want to start out front. We had some issues in the prologue. I went a little too hard early.
We're broke. Guess let's just get on course.
I tried to save it, like we did. But I think it broke the steering shaft or something.
Really?
Yeah. That was fun.
Lieutenant Dan's mad.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, we were doing good. I waited a little longer.
A little more patient.
The bushes out there, I figured I could just run them over. And I tried to run this bush over, and apparently it didn't want me to run it over, and it flipped us on our lid, and we ended up getting it back uprighted, and I went to take off, and I had no steering.
Ended up breaking a steering component.
Made it. 6 hours later. Well, thank you guys. Of course. Hopefully this is the last time I need your service. Thank you. Yeah.
Lieutenant Dan lost his leg.
Yeah, he made us use ours.
That issue would have been an issue if it didn't arise when it did. I'm thankful that it happened when it did. That way we came up with a solution, tested it the following day, and made sure it was going to work for the UTV race. So it's actually a blessing in disguise that it happened when it did.
Thankfully, he went and did the desert race because we were running the same parts on the race car, and we were able to find out early on in the week that we had to address the issues that had come up.
So during the actual race, we did the race the next day. We started, in the back of the pack.
We're back.
And we're back. That commercial was brought to you by Not Your Average Hub, but Impulse Media Hub. Make sure you go online and you check it out and you buy some merch, because we like to have fun. Even though it says we're zero fun, we're not. We like to have fun. So go on impulsemediahub.com. Is it .com?
.store.
.store. impulsemediahub.store to get some merch.
Get it.
Get it.
Get it.
When we do not have cream merch anymore.
No more cream.
No more cream.
No more cream.
Cream.
We had
creamy base.
We had cream merch.
I
He
was
doesn't have it
requested
on.
a pink one without boobs on the back, which I thought was cool, but girls don't like that.
There's one with boobs on the back?
Yeah, there's the pink one.
I
Pink
love
sweatshirt.
boobies.
Yeah.
Yeah, breast cancer.
Yeah, I know.
Damn.
I was
They
gonna
don't
get one
love-
for
they
Grace,
don't
and
like
she just wanted a
supporting?
black one. I know.
I don't like support.
Damn.
No.
All right.
Don't like
over.
support.
Go cancer, I guess.
Babies, question mark? Popcorn butter. Porcupine butter. Porcupine butter.
How do people come up with some of these names?
He's
I don't know.
still about his trust the process.
So, like I said, I don't know if you saw his Instagram story or not, but he, Porcupine Butter. So he's the guy who made our the 3D printed.
Oh yeah.
Gladiator awards.
Yep.
Last year.
Yep.
So and
No more cream.
it looked like he was starting to work on like the front of like a metal skull, and it was like about this long. So I don't know what he's working on, but
it's gonna be cool.
I'm interested now.
There was a baby commercial.
You now have my interest.
Trust the process.
Yeah, yeah.
So as long as it's not a round metal,
Let's ask these guys. Okay, the thing is, for me, is that if we don't like it, he is 2 months behind the ball then.
well, technically, he's got to get what?
3?
3
wait,
done?
5.
Well, I wanted 7.
Right?
Oh, well, hey,
7.
Ryan, you got 7.
It'll be dope. Okay, so do you guys know what the Gladiator Awards were last year?
No.
What?
Damn.
Kyle.
Wait, is this the at Bark
Damn.
River? You guys were doing the running and drinking?
No,
and
no,
whatnot?
no,
Not that thing.
This was
that's,
top, was it 3 classes?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Pro
2, Pro Light, Pro 4?
Yep.
Just those 3. Fastest lap of the weekend, and it doesn't include cup races. Just so you guys all know.
Just
so you guys know.
guys.
Just so you guys know.
You stop it. We're
Was
not
somebody a little butthurt about it, or?
Well, that was the original thing, was the fastest lap of the weekend for your class.
For your class.
For your class.
Rules are rules, dude.
Right.
Thank you.
So
Hey, we're consistent.
Unreal.
in the cup race, it's Pro 2 class versus Pro 4 class. And I had the fast lap. And then I asked them, I said, well, it's the fastest lap. And they're like, oh, well, we don't do cup races. Sorry. So then I busted their balls about it. But anyways, it's not per day. It's just one weekend. And they have these, or one per weekend, these 3D printed trophies made.
And that's what the porcupine butter made is the 3D.
The 3D printed ones.
Cool.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
now
badass.
he wants to
I didn't get
change
to see
them.
these.
He wants to change them to a metal. And we were all like,
Yeah, all I can picture is like the
champ medals.
Well, just not just the champ ones, but any medal you get, right? They're all the same.
Thank you. Right
They're
there.
all the same.
All
You
the
heard it
same.
firsthand, all the same. And these 3D printed things were dope.
I mean,
Yeah, they're cool.
you can the sky's the limit, whatever you want to make with it, right?
Right, and it's just like different, right? It's not just another metal.
Right.
Jeffrey's just thriving over there.
He's glad someone else is saying it, not him.
Why have you guys been arguing about it all day? Kind of. do you trust the process, or what do you think? Let's hear it from Tito's heart.
So I understand where Ryan's coming from because the 3D print, his 3D printed art essentially, right? It took.
Oh, and he was mad at you.
He said a thousand.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was 1,000 hours of printing. So I get it, right? He was like getting up, changing it out, and then going to sleep, and then getting up 2 hours later.
He thought he had to make like 27 of them in fucking one night.
But
So
regardless, right? You put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yes. Yes.
And then it ends up coming out to be kind
Very
of flimsy, where it's like very like fragile. So like, unfortunately, when we were delivering Mickey's,
Last one.
the very last one, we were like 2 minutes from like this thing, like the season being done. Part of it broke. So for him, he wants his like what he created to actually like be not flimsy and cheap.
Yeah.
So that's why he was like, okay, he started to rethink like, how can I be?
Let's
how can it
use
be a little bit
different resin.
more? Yeah, and it was like melting metal.
what was he mad at me for?
Oh, because he was. He said that. Well, if it's easy to 3D print, then then you just have them do it then.
I got a guy that works for me, and he's like obsessed with 3D printing. Does a lot of cool stuff with it, but he kind of gave me the rundown of like how much it actually takes to do and
Oh yeah,
the time.
yeah.
It's a lot, like-
Don't get me wrong.
It's like a drop of freaking plastic at a time.
But I think that's
Or
why
like a line.
for me why the Gladiator the award is cool.
Yeah,
because not only the time but the way it looked.
Right.
It looked amazing. It looked cool, and that was the standard. Now he's trying to
up the
hopefully up the standard.
Up the standard.
Yes, and I don't want to take a step back from where we started.
Oakley didn't change the time bomb, did they?
Never.
No.
You don't got to do something crazy every year.
So again,
Because that's your guys' thing, you know?
Well, no, but
they're
it's
just trying to make it more convenient to make it.
It's the time and effort. It's the time and effort.
Right, but
And
once you get something down.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, it's only as fast as the machine will print, too.
Right.
So,
Yep.
if you're printing 27 plaques or 27 awards, it's
Go back. Jeffrey doesn't believe in the vision. Oh, he's got it 3D printed designed to
He's
go
got
back.
Got to back up.
Okay,
Gotta back up.
I'm just letting him know. I don't want him I don't want him to get in trouble.
Jeffrey would have to be mad. Jeffrey would have to be mad.
I'm more worried about his well-being than the awards. How about that?
Metal or not.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
We're trusting the process.
We're trusting the
Trust the
process.
process.
Trust the
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
We're trusting.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Let's start with we had who was it? Who said it? Class 11
Oh,
Zachary
Zachary Drafkin.
at Glen Helen. Good, bad, different? What do you guys think?
Well, we got to let the people know. We didn't let the people know.
Let them know.
Let them know what?
Let them
What
know.
the question?
Let them know.
The question.
You let them know.
Oh, I just did. Do you think that Class 11 would be a good idea at Glen Helen?
I mean, it had good success at Crandon. I mean, and
KOH, it has a ton of them.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of based out of California.
Yeah.
Right.
The West Coast, anyways.
Desert scene.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand like the Crandon that they started running was it 2 years ago that they started running them?
Yeah.
And
I
it
don't
was, like,
understand the hype of them either, but
well, I thought it was cool, really cool actually.
there's a bunch of them.
But it was
That's
just
cool.
surprising to me, like where did these things come from? They're like coming out of the woodwork. I thought.
Yeah.
I thought they were sweet until I realized what a good one costs.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
I was like, man, those are cool. Like 10, 15 grand we can get in one of these? No, it's like 40 or 50.
No.
Yeah,
A buggy?
for a good one.
I didn't know it was that much.
Like if you get one,
like
75 buggy?
anything,
Yeah.
like anything, right? They're stripping them down. They're finding these one-off frames that are perfect condition, and they can change like I don't
air-cooled
know
motors
the
aren't
shock mount, but like the way the shock works, they put like a full Fox shock or King shock in the back to some extent. It doesn't have like bypasses on it or anything, and I'm not exactly sure. I've looked at one, and the fucking shock mount's super weird on the top because they have to use the stock mount, but not location, or I don't know. Somebody in here probably knows the rules and how it works. Oh no, they have to use the stock mount. So the shock, they have a thing that grabs the body and puts it on the mount.
like a cantilever deal.
No, like you have your eyelet and your shaft, right? And then this big tube has the valving and the stuff on it. So it's not mounted in the eyelet on the top. It just pinches it and then goes into the mount. So the shock hangs above the shock mount like this much. So it's like a mid-mounted.
Because technically
it's in the stock shock mount. Then.
So the Class 11, the reason why I'm guessing is why they're so expensive is because the Class 11 is a desert class, and it's I think a 1978 bug or later.
So it's hard to find.
So they're very hard to find. Parts are hard to find.
Makes sense.
So that's why when they get a little banged up, you pretty much have to buff it out.
Yeah.
And the reason why they're so hyped is because in the desert they're kind of like an unofficial like Ironman tough class. They're one of the last classes to go off, and they're one of the most difficult classes to even finish the Baja 1000 in. So, obviously you've got your trophy truck and whatnot, right? Big, comfortable thing. And it's obviously a lot of work, but that Class 11 buggy is probably one of the hardest vehicles to even get to the finish line in any Baja race. So there's a lot of kind of pride there as far as it goes of getting it like the most difficult vehicle to the finish line.
Do they get a wheelchair prepped for you at the finish line?
I don't know. I almost killed Keegan.
A lot of the
Keegan
riders,
got a wheelchair.
dude, it's like you have
Did
to
he
be
really?
you have to be like a jockey.
He rode passenger and won at Crandon the first year, and the dude wadded it up on the front straightaway, flipped it 5 or 6 times.
And he actually needed a wheelchair to get.
Wow.
Well, no,
he hobbled his ass out of there, but I'm pretty sure his back was really
He
bad.
said he still has neck pain from it.
Yeah.
God.
Tweaked his neck
First
off
lap.
of it, so.
Freaking right at the barn jump.
Oh, well, I remember seeing that then, yeah.
A lot
There's
of
two of them in it.
a lot of the riders or a lot of the drivers for the Class 11 are small Mexicans. Yeah. So I mean, you're not going to see Bryce Menzies or Johnny Holter drive one of these things anytime soon.
Little kitty.
They're pretty small guys.
I think what really brought the hype for him was when Nitrocross brought him on. Right.
Yeah.
All kinds of people went and got him then. I'm sure racing on short course is probably kind of fun with them, right? It's like running a single buggy or a light buggy.
A lot easier than any of the trails in Baja.
So back to the beginning of the question, where it all originated. We're talking about Glen Helen. There's 7 classes, correct?
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That's what we established. 7 classes eligible to go. Is it is it something that are they looking to fill time? If they're looking to fill time and entries, bringing on class 11, potentially there could be 30 of them.
Yeah, well, what Zach was saying
But
was
more
that
track prep, another class, another.
Yeah, but he was also thinking maybe the potential of certain drivers not showing up, low car count and everything. He was thinking that class 11
Would
basically
fill.
all that time.
Mm-hmm.
But not only that, but then hopefully bringing in more of a crowd of fans to the track.
Is that good for Champ if there's I
If
guess either way you cut it.
If there's 30 class 11s and
20 trucks there, you know what I mean? Like, are you just? I guess.
Well, at the end of the day, you're trying to.
It's cool.
Yeah, but you're also trying to promote the event too. I mean,
right?
Like,
any growth is good growth.
If you're saying, hey,
it's a show at the end of the day.
Yeah, we have 45 class 11s showing up, and then you got those diehards, and they're like, oh shit, this is right in Glen Helen. Like, hey, let's go to the show and check it out.
Until they hit them with all the fees to race one race. Class 11s typically, like in when they come to Crandon, I'm pretty sure they're under the Ultra 4 banner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. And I don't know how Ultra 4 does it, but
I think Crandon puts a race on for the buggies.
Yeah,
don't
Crandon
they?
does alone.
Yeah, just one, but then they
Yeah.
run the Ultra 4 too.
Well, because then I guess that brings in a whole nother area of like who's gonna do the specking and
teching.
and everything.
I think if they figured something out where you didn't have to buy like the year membership or
they do that
just,
now.
Just all the different things.
Yeah, I think you can do it one time.
You can do it one time.
Yeah, you can do it one
Would they
time
all
for
get
a
to
race,
race
so.
free because they're all technically a rookie?
You get race free if you're a rookie.
Yeah, this year they released a thing. You get to race all year for free if you've never raced before.
Hey,
fucking JQ.
That's on like a year hiatus. That should.
Where's the line there? I guess.
I don't know what the line is, but I know that. They put out a thing this year that if you're a rookie and you've never raced Champ before, you get to race all season free.
After them, it wasn't 2 years ago, but like good because it was so confusing when we first started racing. I didn't know how to fucking enter, how to call the tracks. I'm like calling people like, "Hey, we need a pit spot. Call this person. Call that person." It's a mess.
Yeah, you
if
kind
you've
of
never done it before.
almost need somebody to just be like, for example, like a CJ. You can be like, "Hey, how do I do this?" You know, I mean, granted, that's kind of what Cole and them are doing right now.
With
that's
youth,
kind of what they're
in a
with
sense.
youth.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like the starting point, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be really sweet if they had almost like a how-to video. Like if they went on their website, right, and you click the drop down, and there was like a new racers tab.
They do now.
And they do.
I was just on the page today because I went to register, and you still can't register. A month away. But they have like an intro.
Hey, remember that rule.
I'm gonna try what he said and wait till the week of, and then maybe I'll.
You got to pay the late fee.
Yeah, there you go.
See, and then you get to start on the pool the second day.
It's really not that much. It's only $500.
Actually, I think I did pay a late fee twice, and for sure, shit, they make you pay it.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, you went on there today, and they had what?
They have like an introduction on the racers drop down, like getting started. I think is what it says. That walks you through it a little better as far as go to the national events to sign up for the race. Here's USAC insurance.
On Snowcross?
No, on Champ Off-Road. Yeah, if you go on the racers drop down, there should be like a getting started or.
Ultra 4 had a pretty neat rookie program. What was it, GD?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Getting started.
I don't remember. I think I remember hearing about it, but I don't remember what it was. But anyways, So
I think that Class 11 would be cool to have at Glen Helen. Let's say just going forward, let's say Glen Helen does continue to be a thing, or let's say Class 11 does have Glen Helen go really well. So something we talked about last year, I think, as far as like Lena and Andy go, was like, what can these tracks do to set themselves aside from everyone else, right? What makes Crandon, what makes Bark River, so on and so forth down the line. So it's like if each track can offer something a little bit different than the other track, that's what makes it a destination or something that drivers will want to go to or fans will want to go to. So somebody like Glen Helen is able to be like, hey, well,
we have Class 11.
What we're known for is for Class 11.
Yep.
Like, Crandon has it, once a weekend at the end of the year. It's like Lena doesn't have it. Andigo, ERX, Bark River, they don't have it, but guess what? We got it out here. And it's just something that's there, you know what I mean? You have 7
30
classes.
cars.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
can
an
bring in
opportunity.
300, 400 people.
Yeah, I mean, and again,
point.
it's just a one-off. Like, hey, let's just check this out. This is what we have. This is what makes Glen Helen different. And that's an opportunity maybe for you guys to then just like, hey, we get to watch some wild shit happen.
Or they can figure out some people that want to give some truck guys a car, and then they can promote it like.
It's the best way to do it. That's what they should do for California, is do that. They did the relay race the first year, I think, right, where the pro ran passenger
Yes.
and then you swap,
Yeah.
like something like that, because then you get the champ guys. I was trying to figure
That
out
would
how
be
you
cool.
how
Just-
you
just no
promote
two
champ
people-
and class 11.
Just no 2 people in the car at a time.
Yeah, because that's what happened to
That's what
Keegan.
happened to Keegan.
That's a good
Right,
point.
so
That's
like
a
the
good point,
driver,
yeah.
the driver, that you stand there, you do 2
Yeah.
laps, you come in the hot pit, change.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The other guy goes out for 2
camera
laps
guy's
or something,
gotta drive
whatever. That'd be sweet. My camera guy. Lyle, you're out.
it. Wait, why?
What do you mean? He's my
Why?
camera guy.
Me too.
Yeah, but I can only choose one.
Yeah, but I followed you around at
Yeah, but-
Thursday,
Yeah, but.
MAV TV.
Yeah, but.
He goes, but Mav TV.
I held your hand.
Not with that on your lip.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hey, when this clears up
When
next
this
week.
clears up. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Did ERX do the van race? ERX did it at Nitro Cross. Nitro Cross had the van
Yeah,
races.
that's their own thing.
Dude,
That was their own thing, not ERX.
that was fucking
It was
fun.
at ERX, but it was Nitro Cross's event.
Some dude blew that shit up right as he went by the.
Oh, I did see that.
The finish line. You could hear him coming down the air. Right as soon as he gets over there, boom! It goes up to the thing. I was like, yeah! And I was so drunk. It was so great.
They should bring back Good Old Boys for
really?
like
Yeah.
intermission.
Don't
Really?
get me started.
An
Because
intermission thing.
that's what we need is another class.
Yes. If
No,
that,
no, because what it does is it gets all your goofballs. Like if you're just gonna throw some carnage out, like as a sideshow for intermission to keep people around and interested.
We can hardly prep the tracks as it is.
How about this?
Now take away the time that
I
for
wouldn't even
track
prep it. I just let them.
Well, I know, but
let them
then
go rip
but
and then
that's
prep.
when they prep the track.
Yeah, I know it's a long day. Yeah, do it last.
Yeah, there you go. Do
last.
it last.
Yep.
Do it last, and it is what it is. Make them fucking keep headlights in.
Because
What
you're
do you
It might
goofballs.
get dark.
What do you guys think about like for like Lena? Like they could pull off a night show. What do you think about a night show?
Dude,
Oh, night
I'd be
races.
there. I'd be there hammered in the front row.
I like
Yeah,
night
it's cutting
races.
into my drinking time, but you know.
Yeah.
Now that we don't qualify, it'd be a lot better.
Sure.
Because it sucked when we used to do night races, and then we would race at 8 o'clock at night, and at 8
in the
a.m. we
morning.
had to
Gotta
we
turn
had to
it around.
qualify, and it was the pro class that had to qualify, and you had to guys were up till 4 in the morning trying to get it ready for qualifying to qualify at 8 a.m. to not race till 8 p.m. again. So
I think they'd have a show if they did that.
Yeah,
they'd
I
have a
do.
good turnout.
Yes.
and it's kind of been a scorcher there the last couple years.
Fuck yeah.
Where?
In July.
I mean,
Lena.
I was definitely
Lena.
dry.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
of Lena might not have had to do with the sun, but
But last May.
It was a scorcher. All right, I got another question. And this one Kyle might be able to tell I'm better. He's kind of a accountant
Oh, boy.
guy. So one of our big things that we've talked about all year, in a nutshell, next gen but for adults, make foot races great again, 2025, is how do we get the tracks and the series to be on the same page? Because right now the track pays the sanctioning fee, but then they get everything. They get gate, they get parking, they get food and beverage, they get spectators, they get all that, right? So if you think about it from the series standpoint, they got their money ready, right, up front. So are they going to promote it? Are they going to help it grow? Not that they're not going to help it grow, but are they going to go above and beyond to try to help the track make it grow? Probably not, because they don't get any return on that, right? So in all fairness, are you going to go spend money and try to help promote someone else's business if you get no kickback? Probably not.
Not if I'm not in business 5 years down the road because nobody promoted us though.
Well, true, but they're getting the money guaranteed up front. So anyways, one of our ideas was, do you think it's possible, and that each track would have to have its own deal, 100%, because they don't all make the same income, they don't all have the same spectators, anything like that. But if you did something on the lines, just say theoretically, they said, we'll take off 10 grand for 10% of your income. Do you think something like that would help get both people in the same pool? Because then the track's going to go, all right, if I can get this to grow 10%, I'll break even, and it saved me 10 grand right off the gate. Okay? And then maybe we can take that 10 grand and put it into the purse or put it into something that'll get drivers hyped about coming, getting more entries, about arriving.
Yeah.
Because we don't have as much of an initial buy-in, right? And then on the series side, they look at it as, okay, we lost 10 grand right out of the gate, but if we can help this grow 15%, we're going to gain more than 10 grand back.
I'd like to see 10 go right to the racers.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say where the money's going to go, right? But at the end of the day, we're like trying to brainstorm, how do you get the series and the tracks to both benefit from promoting an event?
I think you definitely have to make it advantageous for each other to, like you said, get some percentage from, like Champ is going to get percentage of each track in gate and everything else. Because if you don't, what ends up happening, like you said, is they're not sort of. I'm sure that they have
both
the
want
mindset.
each other, right? They both need each other.
They
Ultimately.
both need each other, and what's good for them is good for themselves, kind of themselves, if you know what I mean. So I mean, I could see that they help promote, but they're not probably spending the marketing money on promoting, say, the Linas or Anago or anything like that. But I don't know. I'd be really interested to see the financial side of it from their side, like looking at like a pro forma, which breaks down how the business is ran and where the money is actually allocated. It'd be interesting to me to see that side of it, because I'm a numbers guy. If I see that, it makes sense of what to do. But without saying that, I could sit here and speculate all day about like, well, how to make it advantageous. But the only true way, the easiest way to do it would be to split percentages to some degree, so that way each party has something to gain, right?
Because ultimately, what we keep going back to is Bark River, Crandon, ERX, any of them can grow 40, 50%, right? And just have a knockoff year and make a bunch of money. But the series don't get any of that kickback, right? Or as what happened like kind of during COVID, the series doubled in car count, right? So it blew up. They get the entry fee and the initial
membership.
But the sanctioning fee. So they get entry fees and the sanctioning fee. So they did really well, and they're going, well, why do we need to kick back to the track, right? It's the track's job to promote. It's the track's job to get the spectators in. It's the track's job to do this. That's part of being a part of our program. So without ever like joining some way,
collaborating,
they're at the end of the day, I look at it too and going, if I own a business, am I going to try to promote this and watch them gain, and I not get any kickback? Probably not. I'm going to let them do their side, and I'm going to do my side, right? So where do you start with getting your foot in the door of going, how do we all pull from the same pool?
I mean, that negotiation has to happen, like between the tracks and the Champ Series. You know, they got to get together, and I'm sure they do, right? I don't want to sit here and say they don't already, but they need to kind of negotiate, look at the numbers, and see what makes sense percentages wise. That way, they both need to risk a little. Like you got to look at it as like, okay, I'm risking that 10 grand for say 5%, but I'm hoping to make 15 to 20 if we do this right. You know? So it's got to be looked at it from that
trade. Yeah, make it contractual where you're trading money for promotion spent, right? Like have you gotten a sponsorship contract that doesn't require some kind of promotion at all? Where you you know what I'm saying? So like as these tracks and Champ work together, it's okay, you don't want to promote us all year or 2 months ahead of time, fine, but then we get another 20% off the gate.
Something.
Right. Yeah, they gotta, and like he said, without seeing the numbers, it's hard to say what that number truly is that would make it work.
At the end of the day, regardless of the numbers, if you took a percentage of what you take their last 3 years, right, and you say they made this much, this guy made this much. If you just equal out the percentage to be the same, right, now we're both, no one's really gaining or losing. This is the average that we've made. We've averagely made $15,000 a year. Okay, we're going to take 5, and that comes out to be 3% or whatever. And really, it's a wash at the end of the day. But it gets your foot in the door of, well, wait, it grew this much. You made a little money. I made a little bit more money. Maybe this is a good way to do it. Something along those lines, I think, is what would be the first thing to getting, because it goes both ways. Do you see any tracks putting Champ Off-Road huge across any of their shit? No. They usually have a Champ Off-Road logo, but it's usually their brand, their name of their track and whatever they're calling their event, and their logo promoting their date.
Yeah, it's why
but 90% it's not
of
promoting
your
Champ Off-Road.
Right. It's why 90% of your regional touring series and any form of motorsports tend to cycle every so often, because I think nobody's figured it out. Truthfully, you see it in
and I don't think so either. But
there's definitely a way, right? I mean,
one thing I do know a little bit is that marketing is really, really tough to like spend money in a good manner where it doesn't feel like you're burning through it and not really actually getting a lot back out of it. Me and Joel from our small business have spent what I would think is kind of astronomical for just marketing, and might not get anything out of it, where I've gained a lot more traction in other ways that were my own doing on marketing. So what I mean by that is, like, for example, I've paid a third party to market our business, and they go out and do everything from Google ads, YouTube ads, Meta, all of it, right? And then before that, they were even involved, because I kind of wanted to test it. I did my own like Meta ads, small ones, which then sure I could kind of control what's spent, and it might not be a lot of money spent, and I'm getting a lot back from it because I was kind of controlling it. But when I wasn't, I was burning through cash like crazy. I'm like, I'm not really getting anything back here. So I think in their side of it, it's the same thing, because I'm sure they're going to pay somebody to do the marketing and split it together. And before you know it, you burn through a bunch of cash, but you really didn't get much out of it. So you kind of have to have that stuff figured out ahead of time, what your budget's gonna be to intend on getting that extra money. Because if you don't have some sort of budget, it's probably gonna go the other way.
Right. Yeah. That might be a good idea. Take a percentage of income that automatically goes towards promotion for the next year. Take that number of people, however much you want to grow, and just say, okay, well, next year is part of our contract, whatever that 5% is, we're gonna spend collectively. Neither of us are gonna get that dollar. Right, but we're going to put it all towards marketing. Make it a team thing.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good idea.
There's no. The problem is Champ's going to say, I'm probably not going to gain any racers from this, right?
Well, that's why you have to give the percentages in gate and other stuff.
Right, where the until they're both gaining when more spectators show up, I think is where you're going to struggle to ever get it, right? Because it's a lot easier for me to go sell a race, an event, right, and get 100 more spectators to show up than it is for the track to get 5 more racers to show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How are you? Where are you going to find them in the first place? And 2, how do you even know if they have a vehicle, or they're going to drive there? Or they have any sponsors, or they got people to do it? Or on a spectator side, I mean, to gain 100, not saying gaining 100 people is really easy, but there's a lot of easier ways. You can print a whole pile of flyers and go around 50 miles for, $30 in gas, and just go stick them anywhere you possibly can. Right. And there's probably a pretty good chance that you're going to gain a handful of people just because they saw them and going in and out of bars and that kind of stuff. Or what Crandon does really good is, I think Crandon's the only one that I've personally heard. I don't know that nobody else does it. There's probably other tracks that do it, but Crandon's 2 hours from me, and I hear commercial ads in Green Bay.
Yep, on the radio.
All the time on the radio, just burning down on the radio. I've never heard another track personally. Don't know that the other tracks don't do them. But
I think I might have heard
they probably don't do
Anago. I swore I've heard something before, but
I'm sure, yeah.
The thing of it, too, is I think that it's just it's an effort towards something, right? Everything is all like cause and effect. This happens and then this happens. This happens because this happens. And we've been kind of yelled at as far as like saying the word complacency, right? Stagnant. And it's like, okay, well, the reason it feels that way is because it feels like nothing's really being tried. You know, because again, like you're saying, is like, oh yeah, as long as we get, 100 people there, well, what's going to bring up car count? It's like, well, how can you bring up more car count? Why are we not having enough cars? Well, there's not enough sponsorships for it. Why is there not enough sponsorships for it? Oh, because of the video package. Why is there not a video package? Oh, it's because of the money. And it's so like tied together that it's such a ecosystem of, well, something has to give. Something has to break. Something has to be tried in order for something else to get better. And that's, I think, why we say the complacency, the stagnancy, is because it seems like nothing is willing to move. And even if it is, it's not noticeable at all, to the point where then people are like, it doesn't even seem like you're doing it.
Right.
And I think it goes to then the transparency that Jeffrey and I were talking about between, the series, the drivers, anyone else in this industry as far as it goes. So, I mean, I think as long as there's a collective effort, like you said, is where there's percentages in it, where if everyone's got skin in the game, and everyone's willing to then make it better. But then if it's this side, hey, we're going to meet here, and then you just go your separate ways, it's like, okay, well, then how is it ever going to come together truly if you don't have skin in the game?
Right. And even if it comes down to 1-2%, right, the first couple of years of whatever they're willing to give up, whatever. I don't know what any of those numbers are, right?
Well, you got to start small, too.
You just got to start somewhere that collectively gives you both a reason to try to, like, promote each and every race, not each one trying to grow themselves.
The one thing I will say, to be devil's advocate about it, and also I can say this because I'm in business, is that at the end of the year, unless you're in a really, really lucrative business, there really isn't a lot left for you to just say, because, Uncle Sam takes his cut, and regardless if you spend it or not. I mean, depending on your business and whatnot, but
depends who your accountant is.
Yeah, exactly. But how much do you have left at the end of that? Well, you could start working with that. But I mean, as long as you're working with something and some percentages, if you start small, maybe you can continue to grow from there. But you got to start somewhere, right?
You got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere where you're both gain, like have the opportunity to gain, right? Equally
and comfortable. Might not be the same as far as like a Cranon versus a Lena.
Right.
Or something like
that's
that,
what
right?
I said. You're gonna have to do it each one with each place, because you go to Cranon and you say 10%, and for $10,000 they're gonna be like,
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
that is a little off.
I think the problem, going back to your point though, is we're not doing the free shit yet. Like, we've not maxed out on free effort. We're not. It's not even like we've maxed out. Now we need to spend money. Okay, can we afford it? It's like we're just not even putting the effort in on the free shit.
So, and that's something I was gonna kind of say as far as that goes, is like, I didn't want to sound like Confucius here or anything, but it's like, things that are things that turn out to be good or great often come with sacrifice. So it's like, if you want to be good, if you want to be great, like, it just doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Like Bill Gates and like, Mark Zuckerberg, a lot of that stuff didn't happen. Like, they're like, oh yeah, I didn't sacrifice anything.
Yeah.
And I was just successful. Like, no, man, some sort of sacrifice has to happen. Of course, I mean, that's a, wild extreme example, but at the end of the day, like you said, there's got to be some bit of sacrifice there, because it's like, I think at some point it's what it just has to be. I mean, a lot of what we do is just off of passion, right?
Right.
A lot of not saying that we're, fucking Amazon, Jeff Bezos or anything, but we do it because we love to do it, and there's passion there. So it's like, you want to see it from other people. Like, we get it. Trust me. Jeffrey knows it more than anyone that this is a business, right? At the end of the day, it's dollars and cents, but it's got to be towards something, because right now it just seems like you're at a plateau.
Do you guys think that there's enough racers out there that Champ could post twice a week all off season long and never have to pay $1 for any of those videos?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Say that again, like reword that for me, so I understand exactly what you mean.
So in Champ Off-Road social media, you get, when off season starts, so does the page. Like, you do get some posts, but it's very, very minimal, right? Do you think there's enough people that would donate media for free that they could have a whole fucking page and genre of it, and they would never have to pay $1, and all they got to do is post it up? Do you think enough people would send in media for free to do it?
And on top of that, it's not
Tyler
for
was
free because
saying
I'm getting.
He's saying free effort, right? We all, as a whole, we all bitch that there's social during snowcross season or just off season. Obviously, they have snowcross going on. Kind of switches focus, right? And the champ page slows way down. And is there a way? Obviously, you're saying okay, it takes paying somebody to keep creating content to post it all year long. Do you think there's enough people that would send in content for free out of content I paid for, Tyler's paid for, you've paid for, right? Would you send it into them for free to post so that they have content to use all year, so that they don't are on the off season, so they don't have to pay anyone, right? It's not costing them anything. It's already done. It's there. All they have to do is post it up.
Yeah, I wouldn't see why not. I mean, like you said, we're all paying for it to some degree, and if you have the video, why wouldn't you want to show it?
It's promotion to me for maybe 100 people that don't follow my stuff personally. So that's a win-win for both sides.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I mean, it's what's the off season? 8 months, right? So 8 months.
7.
Seven, six,
So
I
figured this year, right? It ended the very beginning of September.
Right.
So basically, you got September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So 8 months, 4 weeks. That's 32 weeks. Times 2 is 64. You're telling me you can't find 64 people to donate videos?
A video?
Like you said, twice a week. So it's like 64.
A video?
I mean, you could almost go 3.
They could have put it in the contract, on the champ membership, and
technically,
you know what I mean?
right.
Technically, you could,
Yeah.
but
Because then
you were just saying for free, right? Free effort. That
Right.
I've never heard that. Not saying that it's never been like in my head. I've never heard it said that way, in a sense, right? We always just say like, oh, there's 100 things you could do, but he said it best: free effort.
Yep.
Things that we can do as racers that are participating in the series. How can we save them money but still try to help them grow? That's free effort on our part too. Takes me 2 minutes. When I did the interview with Mike Rusci, I did the interview. He texted me about some pictures. I sent him pictures that I had on my phone for free, and he was able to post it up, make content about it. Right? So that's
what do you
free
think
effort.
the best way to approach champ with stuff like that would be?
Hey, motherfucker! No.
Like, I'm trying to figure out, because I don't know. I mean, I know a handful of the people that work for champ, but my first reaction would probably be go talk to one of them I already know. But if
I don't know,
to speak clearly to anyone who's listening to the show, who would you recommend talking to try to talk to them about getting on board with doing stuff like this for the free effort?
I mean,
that's
Mike Rusci, that's kind of his part right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
And his position is trying to be the middleman. He told me he listens to every podcast. He said sometimes they get a little carried away because they get too long, but but he listens to them, and that's kind of his position and his job. So I would think maybe if even Champ made a post saying, hey, this is our guy, this is his email, whatever, maybe he would. I don't know what he gets paid, what his time is involved with Champ, right? So maybe he doesn't want that because he's going to get 1,000 emails of useless information, right?
Sure.
And maybe 2 of them are worth something.
Right.
But I always say, even on our podcast, if you can take 1% of what we said and throw 99% of it away, but that 1% made a difference and made you think of something that may change, then we did our job.
Yeah.
That's kind of universal in racing, right? It's reaching out to 100 sponsors and getting 2.
Right.
But those 2 help you, right? And those 2 do something.
And they're not going to come to you without it.
Right. That's the free call, the free effort, I think we haven't plateaued yet.
It costs you nothing to send out your packet, right? Your whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same
Your
time,
deck.
it's also believing in your own product, though, too, to do it.
Right.
We can say all this, but if you don't believe in it, then it's just like, hey, why should I put all that effort into it if I'm already getting X amount of dollars every year to switch to this model to being like the what ifs?
Yeah, I think the hard part.
And if they don't believe in their product, then they're like, no, we don't want that because we get X amount of dollars.
We're just good with it.
Exactly. We're fine with it because we're not losing any money. But
well, if racers stop showing up, you do.
yeah, but at the end of the day, they still get the
sanctioning fee
and the track fee and everything. So at the end of the day, like you said, they're good with it.
I don't.
You know,
we don't know.
We don't know.
This is all Jeffrey speculating.
Different people, owners,
but they're potentially, and this is just from a business side of things, of pushing limits of putting out a potential $15,000 app, you know, and being like, is that money worth it? I think it's worth it, but that's believing in my own product of doing it.
Right.
Now,
That's for that fantasy for all you guys.
Yes.
Fantasy short course.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what it's called, but I'm calling it Fantasy Short Course.
Impulse Media Fantasy League.
Impulse Media Fantasy League.
Yes. So, but it's
Film
believing.
for short.
But but it's believing in that product though.
Right.
Too. And if you don't believe in your product, then it's just like we're good with where we're at then.
And this isn't no facts, right? This is, you don't think if they were able to post twice a week all off-season year, they wouldn't gain interest of one company?
Correct. I think they would. You know, like
you know what I mean? Because you're not posting like your same race stuff. You're hitting all different people. You're hitting every person that sends in. You're hitting their sponsors. Right? You're hitting their sponsors too, because you're going to share it on your, I'm going to say I send in a video and they post it. I'm going to repost it.
Right.
Right? So you're going to get all my sponsors that are going to see both. And you're going to continue to see this and just consistent posting. You look at anybody that's really successful in social media, posts weekly, consistently weekly. That's how they get like that following.
And that's what I was about to bring up, is like not to go too far into the weeds here, but then it becomes, you know, an algorithm.
That's because you were in the bushes.
All right, so that's the show. No. But then it becomes like an algorithm thing, right? It's like if you lay dormant for so long, it's like how much of your stuff gets
then
pushed.
you got to start all over.
And then it's like you got to start all over again, or somebody sees it, right? You get that first post back, like, oh, I haven't seen this first post in a while, right? There's a lot of support there, and then it just boom drops off. So it's like, but if you're posting constantly, like, does it become too diluted? Probably not. Does it become, you know, is it consistently there that people can see it, you know? And it's like, then it's pushed to the front, and it's at least it's seen, because then you can see those analytics, those metrics, those insights as far as it goes.
We're so far from being over diluted.
Yeah.
Well,
so far from it.
That's why I was like, that's why I was like,
Yeah, right.
Not saying any of us do it a whole lot better on our own personal pages.
Exactly.
But our personal pages are only trying to grow us, right?
Yeah.
It's up to you whether you want to grow. Like if I'm trying to, obviously, if I was like, I want to hit 25,000 followers before the first round of champ, you bet your ass I'm going to be posting like every freaking day, because the more you post, the more people see it, the more it ends up on For You pages and all this stuff, and that's how you grow. If you really don't care about your followers, you don't post, because then you don't grow, right? Because you don't give a shit.
And then can I play devil's advocate at this point in time?
Yeah, yeah, you
Like
can do
the stuff
whatever you
that-
want. You own the show, bro.
But the stuff that we're talking about, why don't we try to implement in ourselves then?
That's a really good point.
You know, like we are a month away. Well, why don't we as social media content creators, racers, why don't we start posting right now and hype up Wheatland?
I think my problem with that is like that's kind of the way I looked at it. That's what we try to do. You know, like our other sponsors that we're working with that are bigger, you know, MRT did stuff a month and a half, 2 months ago. That got us into a shock deal for this year. Like people do it and it works well. You know, it's just
like
collectively it.
And even if you don't have video people or anybody in your corner, you know, do what CJ does, you know, while he's working on the cars. Like, oh, these two big girls are getting along just fine now.
Right.
You know, like it's out there.
Yeah.
You know, but also you could be like, oh, these two big girls are getting together.
Get
before,
feisty.
You know, right before Wheatland. You know what I mean? Like,
Keegan today had stuff about his trucks and stuff.
Lucas Oil.
Right?
Yeah, Lucas Oil products
and
in the shop.
But you don't see, you know, KGB do it. You know, that guy's a bum.
I think part of it though, and this goes back to the pool thing. I think part of it.
What pool?
Please hold.
Okay.
Pool?
Yeah.
I think part of it is from someone standing on the outside. Well, like as a racer standing on the outside, right? We look at it as we are the show. We're paying to be in the show. We're paying to be a part of it. why are we going to do their promotion job? Because you know that the purse probably ain't going to change, right? Like, do you think if and I don't know this is just thinking out loud.
I was wondering if I should get in on it.
I'm sticking to it.
If, say, and we have no way to prove it, but say 50% of the racers went and promoted each race, right? You saw it flooded on everything. And you went to that race, and you could tell by it was sold out, right? Bigger than it's ever been. You hear people working there talking about how busy it is, and the purse don't change. You think you're going to do it again next year?
Yeah, good point. You're taking time out of your day to make this stuff, and if it doesn't make something happen, probably not.
Right.
Right. So it all goes back to, like, who's in charge of the purse. The tracks don't chip in for the purse. The purse goes off a champ.
ERX does.
ERX does?
Crandon does.
Okay. Crandon
but
does
it
on
wasn't.
Sunday. Well, the Crandon has, but I guess I shouldn't say they don't. I should say that they're not on Champ's website.
Correct.
Required to do it.
The rules are the purse is based on car count. Okay, so at that point, further than that, it's up to the track to decide whether they're going to chip in on their own. It's completely up to them. But by rule in the book, this is how the purse is built.
Yep.
So if we all went out of our way, got it to grow, right? 50% of the racers, that would be like a couple hundred posts went out there, and you noticed, like, you heard the people, the employees, everyone talking about, like, how much better it is, and you raced for the same $150, is everyone going to be just okay with that?
You have to make like a contingency program.
Well, it would have to, you know, and it's gonna snowball into my next question, but it would be like you have to trust one and the other, right?
Yeah.
You have to trust that if we do our part, they're gonna go, all right, we noticed that these guys, our racers, have put in the effort. Let's give back.
You gotta trust the process.
You gotta trust the process.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that. I was like,
All right. And the last question I have, and it's probably gonna be another one, kind of a dragger, but so Mike Rusci in his message said, last week we talked about going to Arizona instead of Glen Helen because we said Arizona has a weekly race show, or not weekly, but they have a series that races there.
Like Chandler or what?
Yep.
Okay. They have their own series that races there. That races short course that has a following. They also race pavement there. I think they have a drag strip there.
Yep.
Got a lake.
They have lake boats. They got a following,
got a casino.
right?
They got a casino like 10 minutes away. I'm just saying. I've been there.
They have a
My ex's
following.
brother lives there.
Shit.
Oh, sorry.
Your ex still live there?
No, just her brother.
That's where we got married.
Nice.
So, hey, see, a bunch of good things happen.
Yeah, a bunch of good things happen. So we were talking about why they went to Glen Helen and maybe didn't consider Arizona. Mike Rusci cleared it up. They talked to Arizona. It was more expensive, hands down, way more expensive to go to Arizona. So my question would be, do you think if they were to be more open with the racers, for one, and two, we both take a chance. You leave it up to the racers and you say, all right, guys, Arizona is way more expensive. Would you rather go to Arizona over going to Glen Helen, but you're racing for no pay? But if it pops off, we will pay what we feel is covered, right? Like you'd have to have an agreement. It would have to be like a agreement, and it would take risk on both sides. It would take risk from if all the racers would way rather go to Arizona because statistically speaking, we'd be like, they have a they have monthly races, they have a following, they did Nitro there. It was sold out for Nitro. Like as a racer, you look at it, and
it made more sense.
From the general information,
consistently used facility.
Yep, it's consistently used. It has a following. The event place, not necessarily short course, but that speedway itself has a following. So what us as drivers, if we chose, we're like, you know what, we'll take the risk of going for no pay, but we're all going to be gentlemen, and we're going to agree that if it's sold out, you have to kick back to us something, right? And it would come down to writing up something, drivers getting together and writing up something. And obviously not everyone's going to agree on it, but even just saying the normal pay. If it fills up the bleachers, we'll do our part and we'll give you the pay. Or we go to Glen Helen and you race for the rules as normal.
I mean, I think people would actually consider the risk as far as racers go, because, I mean, I've been to both places, and I'm not bashing Glen Helen by any means, but I feel like from when I remember going there, like San Bernardino is kind of out of the way, so to speak, going versus Chandler's not, you know, and maybe people would be willing to take that risk if they knew something on the back end would pop off and actually get them some pay. And it kind of comes back full circle with the whole, free marketing from us on art. We should be doing something to help with that. That kind of all comes full circle to it. Because I think if we knew that, okay, this is kind of in our court too, now who do you think is going to start really pushing the social media? All the races are going to have to, because they know that technically to get a paycheck at the end of it, they better do something.
It gets us all in, right? We all have to jump in. And if you think about it, more people may jump in just with the risk of going, one, I feel, in my opinion, we have better odds of filling the bleachers. Two, it's closer. So it saves the series money for driving all their rigs, all their shit. It saves each racer money being closer. Maybe that alone is going to be like, all right, I'm good with taking the risk on no pay because I saved it on the tail end already. I saved this money, and there's a good chance that we can put a good amount of asses in the seats.
Yep.
Right.
And then we do one good event, and now we have a reason to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to communication. If the tracks or if the series opened that up and left it up to the couple classes and let them vote and wrote it all out and just did a silent vote, there's no comments, there's no nothing. It's just a vote. If that's something you think is plausible, one, would a series or someone is that something that they could possibly do? And two, do you think the racers would be in for it?
I think the state that we're in right now, it's not out of the norm. It can be possible because at the end of the day, we're trying to get eyeballs on the sport, right? But also, we're trying to grow too. And if you guys are willing to, like I said, risk payouts and funding, if you will, to potentially grow, like why not? Because at the end of the day, you guys are all in it together. Then everyone has that risk, even the drivers.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, as CJ always says, you know, we're the show.
Yep.
You know, and without, you know, we go to these tracks and it's like, oh, okay, there's 100 people in the seats. Like, you know, we go to Glen Helen, for example, and again, speculation. You know, there can be 100 people. You know, we don't know the count yet. But
it's been a while
but we go
they've had one.
But we go to Arizona where the facility is used. We already know that the potential of fans being there is greater than Glen Helen.
And the facility can give you statistics of this is how many events we do a year. This is our average.
Yes. Right, that's the thing. So that's
probably why they're more expensive.
Right, and I guess that's so. What I don't understand is why is Chandler different than Crandon, where they're not paying us? Or paying Champ, I'm sorry, the whatever fee.
Oh, Glen Helen?
No, like I'm saying Chandler was more expensive, right? So why aren't they just paying the same buy-in every other track does?
Because Chandler's not trying to hold an event
Got it, because they don't really care if we come or not. Got
yes,
it.
exactly.
Champ's trying to expand and is looking for places to race, so they're renting the track. This is Glen Helen.
Right.
They went to them trying to grow.
Sure.
So they had to pay to rent the track. Where around here, all these tracks run a business.
Right.
They need the series to come to continue to fund it. Right. So you're guaranteeing that the series comes.
And that makes sense. And I guess the other thing is nobody even I mean, without me being a guy who makes money off of this, nobody's expecting that Champ paycheck to make money anyways.
No.
So what's the big deal if we all go out there for $500 less for a $10,000 trip anyway? I guess I don't see that being a massive risk even for us, and that's it. So that's kind of an easy one.
Do you think they would consider, like in a situation like that, they'd consider waiving the entry fees even?
Well, I think if you went to Glen Helen, you would have to. like for Glen Helen, the only way you're going to get people out there is somehow make it cheaper, right? Being the time frame that they gave us to go get sponsors, that's something you could do to draw people. But I think if you did something like Arizona and they offered it up and that's the choice the drivers made and they accepted, like there's no pay, I think the series, at least from my eyes, if I was a series and my drivers are willing to do that, let's fucking go. They believe that's a place that we need to go.
Yes.
They're willing to accept no pay over going somewhere else to get paid because they believe that event's going to be that much better.
Right. Because even the guys who have been verbal about we need to travel, it's not just Glen Helen, right?
No.
Like nobody's heard Arizona and said, "Oh, that's stupid. I'd rather go to Glen Helen." It's just we want to expand, right?
Right.
So if unanimously, from what it sounds like, nobody wants to go to Glen Helen. Chandler's an option, but
there is people who want to go.
There's people that want to expand.
Yes.
I know there's probably some people who are diehard, want to go back there. But like if the 90% of people want to go to Chandler, for the other 10% that still works because we're expanding, why is that not a simple solution? We have more. It gets a little dicey with the pro stuff because we have a board. We kind of have a voice in a way, right? You guys don't really have that. I don't even know. It's weird because it's like you're employees of Champ, but not at the same time. You know what I mean? It's like
subcontract.
Yeah, you guys are like subcontractors, but without there's a reason.
Yeah,
there's a reason
a subcontractor is a good way to put it.
There's a reason most subcontractors are union.
Yeah, we're not union.
Yeah, not union over here. Yeah, Lockstein's going to be in that chat. Non-union hard worker over here.
But they say though, man, scared money don't make money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but even that scenario isn't costing.
Right.
It's saving everybody money up front. Yes, you're not racing for that money, but it's showing that the drivers are willing to take a risk on the series, right? They're willing to take a risk at a track that they believe in, and they're okay with whatever happens of it.
It checks every box.
They're okay with the series covering their ass first by not guaranteeing us that we're going to get paid unless the event pops off. That's where it shows, like, to me, that the racers would be like, okay, they want the series to be here, right? They don't want us to go away. They're not pissed off. They're not trying to get us to go away. They're also trying to make it grow, and they're willing to make sure that our expenses are covered to go to an event that they want to go to, not something that we think we should go to, that once we put it out, all the racers are like, well, that's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? It's the risk, right? The risk of giving the drivers a voice, giving the drivers a vote, with the risk of not getting paid a payout.
All right. So you think we can do the same thing for Glen Helen?
What? Not get paid to drive further for no people?
I guess.
Giving up the pay and the hype behind it is because we believe in that track and that facility.
Yeah.
And it makes sense in the back end.
Okay.
Less gas money, less travel,
less
all that other
travel,
stuff. We're making it
money.
back as well.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be different if Glen Helen was doing like what Chandler's doing, where they have like a consistent,
100%.
like a consistent audience, or I guess a consistent market coming through the area where like the track's being utilized throughout the year. Then it's like, hey, we'll throw, this additional event in there, and people who go all the time are like, oh, hey, like, I'll go check that out. But if it's just a, kind of a washed up track that people are like, have you seen Glen Helen lately? And they're like, should we go?
I think you're hitting the root of your problem in all of this, and is that there's just no communication.
Yeah.
If they would have talked to you guys, like, did anybody talk to a single driver out on the West Coast that has a truck that hasn't raced it and said, would you race it? Like, they went in with no...
I don't think they were trying to gain the West Coast guys.
No, but that's
They're trying
your best...
to gain sponsors or eyes on the West Coast. But
right, but that's your easy car count, is the local
right
truck count there.
But I don't know that there's any left out there.
Yeah.
Who's left? I mean, everyone that has a truck hasn't raced in
Right.
2-3 years, all the rules have changed since then.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that's the biggest part right there. Is
no, right, but they didn't even reach out.
Right. No,
You know, I mean that might have cleared some shit up for him off the bat.
I think if Glen Helen had a monthly show, right? They don't even get huge motocross. I don't even think they
don't run. They run a
like an enduro.
MXGP still goes there, right?
No, not anymore.
I thought it was
almost every big event.
But,
almost every big event has not gone there anymore.
Oh, I remember seeing a video a while back.
It's a hard place to draw people. It just seems to be a hard place to draw people. So I think if, like somebody said, I think Tito said that if Glen Helen had a weekly or monthly show of racing off-road of some sort there that had a following with it, right, that consistently raced, I don't think anybody would be in this situation, or this wouldn't have this outlook on it. They'd be like, there's a good chance we're going to put butts in the seat. It's going to be a good event. It's going to be really good. I think the biggest reason that so many people are like leaning away from it is they don't ever race.
Yeah.
They don't ever do anything that there. It's a facility that has very minimal going on during the year, especially on the short course track. So how do you promote it and expect all these people just to know what's going on?
Yeah, but like you said right there, promotion. You know, at the end of the day, we look at the track record for Champ. You know, are they going to promote it? You know, and
they've never had to do that.
Exactly,
either.
And that's the scary part right there. Is like how
Tracks
are they
do their own promotion?
How are they going to promote it? Are we going to get seats in there? You know, or seats. I mean, fans there.
Butts in the seats.
It's just like it's the unknown that's scaring everybody right now. You know, everyone that is going is hoping for the other side of it. That hopefully we bring fans. Hopefully it brings new eyeballs to the sport. But then the realization of like, what are you doing to get there? You know, because right now we said Champ Off-Road's Instagram page or Facebook page or anything social media wise or just
it's in hibernation.
Yeah, it's in hibernation mode. You know, again, I don't want to.
Not completely.
I don't want to act like I'm.
But
but I don't want to act or I don't want to like keep bringing up this new idea, this fantasy app. Again, that was a big thing that AJ and I talked about. Well, Champ Off-Road is only 5 months. Well, we can't just leave the app dormant for the 8 months or 7 months that it's there. Right. So then how can we utilize it by bringing in snowcross?
Breaking news.
Yeah, breaking news. Utilize it by bringing desert racing.
Yep.
You know, so it's like, all right, how can we keep the app going?
Keep it relevant.
Yeah, how can we keep the app relevant?
King of Hammers, right?
Yeah.
You know, my top three be, Brock Hager, Kyle Cheney, Mitch Guthrie, Doug Matag.
but that's the thing, though, right there.
I was hoping for someone more hurtful. You said all really good people.
but that's the thing right there is like, again, it's believing in your product and getting it out there and promoting the series itself. You know,
I already told you what to do, how to promote Glen Helen. I'm telling you, find someone with a good track record, right? Put them in an off-road vehicle and let them rip around downtown. You know what I mean?
It says like Glen Helen on the roof.
Yeah, like Glen Helen.
Get the helicopter
freaking you put the dates on the
chase
side.
going on.
Dude, you get the chase on, and then they're just like, oh,
all over the news for free. Hey,
this is America.
Free effort on the news.
Free effort on the news.
You want to do it?
Even better. I would my track record. Like, I'm probably going to jail for sure and staying there. But
right there,
call the Jesse James did a show. I don't know why I remember this.
West Coast Customs.
No.
I don't know.
No,
Cheated on Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
But they paid like the police departments do training for like police chases.
Yeah.
And so they did like a training session where he just built a car and it was like, can you catch me? Like, can I get away for 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Right. I don't know. Call LAPD or call one of those and just say like, can we do it? Like,
there we go. What's
buy the track on the grounds? I don't know.
Hey, I'm here to tell you.
Nobody's thinking like
almost
that.
on the same property, there's a police training facility at Glen
that's
Helen.
what I'm saying. You can make it
literally in the same fence.
Right.
There we go, man. What would be cheaper, to pay for a mock police chase or a real one? I mean,
if there's somebody on stand, like I'm gonna need signatures, like on standby to bail my ass out and get me back here.
It's just gonna be one of those. No, it's like if you get caught, remember, you don't know shit. We don't know what you're doing.
Screaming, Impulse is gonna get me out.
Yeah, right. That's all you gotta say. I heard it on a podcast.
Or better yet, you got the West Coast guys are excited for Glen Helen. Why not have them do a promotion for Glen Helen?
Yeah.
Have them go out on the track and rip a few laps, and they got decent media people out there.
Yeah, they got one good photo guy, three good photo guys, and like one good camera guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Brian Lambert, right?
Just throwing him under the bus.
Yeah, Jason,
everybody else.
Zandrowski,
Guys.
You got Bink,
Browntown, Bink, Daniel,
Caleb.
Caleb. So there's 5.
Yeah,
right? That's it though.
Nobody else.
Anyone else? John Willie.
Oh yeah, John Willie's good.
6. That's it. That is it. No one else.
Yeah.
No one else. Like, can you imagine trying to like come out here now to like film like snowcross because you're that big of a bum, just not wanted on the West Coast? Man,
I don't know who they're calling out, but they're burning somebody.
Couldn't imagine. Little guy though.
Yeah, little guy under 200.
Yeah, his weight starts with a 1. Shouldn't even. I don't know why he talks. little guy. You know what I mean? So anyway, yes, if you want to do it.
Okay.
We'll see what bail is, but
when we get that
deal.
What's Grand Theft Auto?
right.
Get the Baja Cartel guys just to race downtown.
Ooh,
I mean, there's a Baja team that says cops on the side. They got to be able to do something.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, dude, that'd be fun. I wonder how much that would be.
Then we could say we're watching cops.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think my frustration is nobody's asked. Like, we're expected to do the asking for our sponsors, our pay for the season, because we're not getting it, which I'm all right with, but I got to work for it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't bitch about no money, so we can't bitch about no promotion or nobody's trying if we're not trying. And by we're, I mean Champ. So, like, if nobody's reaching out to California, if nobody's reaching out to racers out there to promote, sorry. Why, why are we trying?
Yeah, and I think the other hard thing is realistically, we could promote all we want, right? And by the rule on paper, the only way our pay is going to go up is to physically get more drivers to show up.
Yeah.
That's a fucking task.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not necessarily like, that's where it always goes back to the same, how do we all come together as one? Because we need, if we want the series to grow, we need the tracks to grow. But if the tracks grow and they don't have to give any money back in, then it's going to make us not want it. Like, well, we got you to grow and you didn't kick back, right? And then the track's going to say, well, they grow 30% in spectators and our entry fee stayed the same. So we didn't get nothing out of it. So we're not going to get kicked back, right? Like, they're all going to go, well, I don't. I had to pay $60,000 just to get them to show up. I'm taking every bit of money I can. That's, in my opinion, where it gets really hard, even with the racers. I'll tell you straight up. Like, we're a race team, and do I want to go do all kinds of promotion and hope that more people come? That'd be great, but not for $150 if for a payout, right? Like, there would have to be something that joined us all together that makes it worth it.
Just start talking mad shit about desert drivers. I'm telling you, man.
Why?
Start calling out random guys, man. Because then you bring in truck count. You know what I mean? Like Doug Mateg, bum. Right? Bryce Menzies, taller bum. You know what I mean?
Jared Brooks, fucking quitter.
Fucking washed up bum. You know what I mean? Couldn't even win a race bum.
Yeah,
He's not a desert racer.
He had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Fucking bailed.
Yeah, right. Brock Hager can only drive a golf cart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's about it.
He's pretty damn good at it.
Yeah, he's pretty darn good. But that's it, though. You know what I mean?
Brian Deegan.
Brian Deegan. Brian Deegan out there, man. He's just going to show up and be like, we're here at Glen Helen, man. So we're all the way down like Ghost Road. Like 60 miles at the Coliseum, man.
You do that really fucking good.
When he goes home, he watches the Brian Deegan YouTube channel all day and just falls in love with
Jimmy
it.
Johnson. Bum,
dude. That's what I'm telling you, man. Fucking Jared Johnson. No, I better not. That guy still might hate me. Some guy I joked about Jarrett to
What's the younger Johnson's name?
Luke Johnson?
No, there's.
Oh yeah, that guy too.
Jesse.
Luke Johnson too.
I used to say, fucking Luke Johnson, bum, man. You know what I mean? He's like, let's make Pro 2 great again. Then he fucking bails as soon as it gets great. No, damn, I get it. Fuck it. Bob Runyon Jr., bomb, dude. All West Coast guys got to start talking shit, man. Yeah, right?
Get him to show up.
Yeah, Cam Rammers couldn't fucking turn right, so he went left.
Yeah.
Man.
Kyle and I are going to show up to California with broken kneecaps.
And they said you better be there.
He's gonna get there and then get beat up. They're all gonna show up with bats and beat up Tito and then leave.
And see his big bear paws, fuck, bah!
Yeah.
Smack him like an unwanted res dog,
Fake
my guy.
Tito's death.
Unwanted res dodge.
Trauma brings everyone together.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go.
Damn.
Well, we're already trying to throw money together to get Tito in a single buggy for the Lena Sportsman race.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I told him if he, what was it? If you took or qualified or any time was top 3, I'm like, you can drive the turbo car the next day.
He messaged me, he goes, if you get top 3, you can use my turbo.
Yeah, he said,
probably,
what if I get top 3 qualifying in the light buggy? I'm like, bro, you got a better chance at running on your feet.
You don't know what I can do.
I could probably talk Joel into letting us take his other car, and you could run that.
We're getting.
Yeah, we're
Got a car.
You know,
him and
if
JQ on the
it
front
came down to it, he ain't gonna show up.
What's the horsepower on it? That's what I want.
100.
100, yeah.
Oh, okay. Damn, I thought it was like 55, man.
No, that was a light buggy.
Dirt bikes have 55.
Oh, so
A
are
light
we
buggy
doing,
has less than a 450.
Are we doing a light buggy or are we doing a 1600?
Well, we were just talking about UTV. You and JQ could throw down together.
I have a chassis still. You can throw a motor in.
Roll that motherfucker going so
Oh,
hard.
no, who you could ask?
Just wants to destroy my
Shit.
We could ask Matty V.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he don't care.
No.
Oh, because you think you're gonna fit in his car.
Well, I mean, we could.
Well, you gotta say it like that.
Well,
I think we
because
can
he's
put
part
some-
of all the things that you don't like: tall, white, and skinny.
Yeah, he's beautiful smile, fucking.
Yeah, he is.
Smiley.
He does too, man. He makes you feel like $1 million when he smiles at you. You're just like, oh man.
Makes you happy.
He does.
Smiley.
Just never see him though, fucking bum.
Is he back with his old lady?
I haven't talked to him in 6 days. But 4 days ago, he was on a 4-day break.
4-day break. Shit.
Huh.
Damn. So if you don't drink alcohol for 2 weeks, are you sober? No, fucking just
California sober.
little break, bro.
I mean, you were sober for 2 weeks.
Yeah, but are you like, oh yeah, I'm done drinking? It's like, no, you just haven't had the opportunity to do it yet.
What if you did and you didn't drink?
I mean, then you're just a quitter at that point.
All right. Well, we're past our time limit.
I love you guys, but I'm stoked for next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's on next week?
Nobody.
Us.
Oh.
We haven't decided, but we were talking about doing no guests next week as the final wrap. What do you think? Good.
Why don't you bring somebody from Champ on?
No, because we're gonna drink.
No.
Oh, well, I mean, they can't drink, or
No, because
Well, who's in the area that we could even?
Nah,
That's the hard part.
we're done talking about Champ.
Minnesota.
who can we party?
sorry, rough waters over here.
Yeah. Who can we drink?
Oh, there'll be
I
a
don't know.
Duluth too.
But I was thinking like maybe Jeffrey could or Lyle or Tito could get us some statistics on our episodes. We did 13 episodes for this many minutes, this many downloads.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
All right.
It'd be cool to have.
Yeah, we
I
could do that.
Don't you think so?
If ours did shit, I don't want to hear
I was
about
going
it.
to say, I was going to slip Jeffrey a 20 for the app.
Add 0 onto that.
We're not gonna do like per thing. We're gonna say we did 12 or 13 fucking or 14 whatever episodes for 12 hours a time, and we had a total of fucking 7,000 downloads.
You're
this
going to let
year.
dipshit call everybody out for the last hour and then not call everybody out at the end of the year?
Yeah, because
We value them all.
having there was probably one that it just is gonna by the title of it and the name in the title is just gonna be more than all the rest of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, probably.
No matter what you do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You should have just made some outrageous title for tonight. That way you got views. Made us look good for a little while until they realized it was, the girls never came.
Yeah, like,
Right.
the best of the best.
Tito gets herpes on podcast.
Breaking news, herpes reveal.
Yeah.
Blonde slips a nipple.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Blonde, big boob blonde slips a nipple. You know how many views it would get? Get so many. People would be waiting, like, God damn. They'd open it up and be like, shit, there ain't no blondes. When do you think the blonde's gonna come on?
Girls never shut up.
Guess we never said girl. Hold on.
I didn't say which boob.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. This next week will be our last podcast of the season for the off-season show presented by Impulse Media and ImpulseHub.store.
Yep.
Right? Where you get your merch.
Yeah.
Where we get your merch.
Well, thanks for having us, man.
Yeah. Free is case 0.
Yep.
What?
Case 0.
Case 0.
Oh, yeah, I screwed up.
Why are you yelling?
Oh, you ended it early, didn't
Yeah.
Oh, it's over already.
No. I ended it, but did end it, and I came back.
Oh,
we were right back.
Or not?
So
All right,
yeah,
well,
yeah,
bye, guys.
yeah.
Now it's over.
Yeah. Bye.
You can dance. You can